This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately. Oh, the Graybot 9000! There we go. There we go. Yep. Well, guess what, everybody? This is the second day of the month. But we're not gonna, it's going to be, we'll cover the, do Idaho 4 at the end. But, with the, just discuss, there's some new articles that came out and so forth. And, there's just so much wild speculation out there on social media about, was this guy the poster? Did he do this and this and this and this? Some of it's sort of interesting, but at the same time, there's really no way of knowing anything. But hey, thanks, Cheryl Bullock. There you go. And actually, the case that was just gonna take a look at tonight was one that Capokino sent in. So thank you. Well, what's everybody up to? Like the vid, like it, like it, like it, like it. Thank you, Whimsical Me. Thanks for all the shows you do. Well, no problem. Yeah, I get messages from people in my email all the time. Just people driving that travel and for a living and say that my show really helps out, or people that have a job that's sort of, a little bit mindless, I guess, where I kill a lot of their time, and, so it makes me feel good. I feel like a mini Art Bell, like I'm literally out there, killing time for people, I guess. I don't know. Hopefully it's interesting too at the same time. I just changed our smoke alarm battery recently. It beeps when it's out. No, there isn't any BTK, like there's somebody like the daughter of BTK killer. Why is it interesting at all that she is communicating about this guy? Is there some sort of, I don't really get it. Like, is it just because she's a serial killer's daughter, so somehow she has insight into this guy? Yeah, I don't know, man. There's just so much of that. Everybody's trying to find their angle. And all I do is just talk about the stuff that we know, right? And hopefully that's what people like to do. Instead of just kind of coming up with... Like, there's channels out there that invent material to talk about. And it's not like they thought really hard and that kind of thing. It's just sort of, hey, let's pretend that this is meaningful And let's spend an entire show talking about it. Yeah, I don't understand. Well, somebody up above mentioned BTK. And I saw an article that came out that had the BTK killer's daughter talking about the connection of some sort. You know, maybe they're, you know, I don't know. It just, a connection? Yeah. But yeah, this night's going to be is just like any other night, even though it's not, you know, filled with all the Idaho Four, the entire show. And, you know, for those of you new out here on this channel, every single night, the freaks help support the channel with super chats and channel memberships and PayPals and whatnot. And that helps support me to allow me to keep doing these shows every single night. But I also, what I do is I try to donate, well, I don't just try, I do donate over 50% of the net revenue from the channel to various charities. And last year we did 62,000, well, I can't remember, I think it was 62,250. So I need to set this back to 0 now. Well, no, not 0, that still stays there. It's the scrolling situation there. I got to set them all to 0. So we'll have to do that later. And we'll have to add another block down here where this one, oops, not that. Maybe right here. Let's see. Let me copy that one. Oh, is that a reference or? Oh, I gotta get rid of that. Might take a second here. I just realized that I gotta do that. So copy. Duplicate. Here we go. We'll put make that one. We'll rename it to 2022. Move that down. Sorry. Not sure where the other one went, but oh, there it was. Okay. All right, right there, and then we'll switch this one over to 62,250. There you go. So I got to fix the year. That was 2022. Awesome. All right, so 2020 we did 22,000, 2021 42,500, 2022 62,250, and you know I thought it was just sort of an extraordinary end of the month. So I would just say that our goal for this next year would be like 55,000 or something. Okay, that's the goal. We'll see what happens. Hey, thanks, Vasserini.
Here's to justice for Libby and Abby and the Idaho Four in 2023. Clinking glasses.
There you go. Yep. Nobody knows what you're talking about, JMO. Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out what people are talking about. Why the BTK daughter's interview about Bryan, whatever, what the hell is his name? Last name is, his last name doesn't stick in the Kohberger. Like, what in the hell that has to do with anything? So, Okay, so why would people be wondering if Bryan wrote to him because his professor wrote a biography? Why would they wonder if Bryan, the killer in the Idaho Four case, communicated with him? It just, to me, it's just, God. I mean, yeah, and by the way, what if he did do it? I mean, oh wow, what's going on in something happened in the football game? Yeah. All right. So, anyways, I'm going to get to these cases that I wanted to talk about here. We'll get to Ryan Kohberger in the second half, or however long it takes to get through. Might not take that long. But I'm hoping we can keep up a similar pace to last month to start this the year off here. Twin Peaks. There it is, Eugenie. Not Corvallis, but Eugenie. But it feels good to be able to talk about something else for a little bit. How about you guys? All right, let's look at this. So here's something that's sort of strange, is that in California in October, woman's body found in Newhall closed donation bin. So apparently there's a donation bin right here. And it says the grim discovery was reported to authorities about 10 a.m. at Lyons and Orchard Village Road. The clothing donation bin is located alongside a parking lot. Authorities have not released any further information. But it turns out like her body was, I believe, halfway in. This is back in October, and that's in California. And then we move to now, which is, I guess, New Year's Eve would only be like maybe 3 months later. And it's South Carolina. And I think I found the bin. It was kind of a little bit difficult to find, but it says so this story says a body was found inside a donation bin in South Carolina, had likely been dead for at least 7 months, and that's months, M-U-N-T-S, not months. There's nobody ever says months, so for you new out there, you'll be lying if you say months and pronounce the T-H, right? Everybody says months, M-U-N-T-S or T-Z, right? Months. It's more like M-U-N-T-S. I actually have a mug for that, because that is how we say it. There isn't anybody in the world that pronounces it. Yeah, anyways, a body found inside a donation bin in South Carolina had likely been dead. So this is a different person found in a donation bin. For at least several months, Kershaw County authorities said. Someone found the body after checking the rusty bin well off U.S. Highway 1 in Lugoff after smelling a bad odor, investigators said. Investigators first thought the body might be from someone seeking shelter from the recent cold snap, but quickly determined the remains had been in the bin for at least several months. West said the body is believed to be that of a female based on clothing, CBS affiliate WLTX reported. The bin appeared to have not been emptied for years, and it had videotapes inside. So this is like a donation bin where people throw clothes and stuff like that. Hadn't been emptied in years. I mean, what's the point of having these bins if you're not going to distribute and try to help, give it to people who need it? I mean, what a joke. Investigators for now are treating the death as a homicide and took the bin and the body away for further investigation. An autopsy had been scheduled for Wednesday. And then it says right here, the gruesome discovery comes less than 3 months after a woman's body was found in a donation bin in Newhall, California. That's the one I was just telling you about. That's where this picture came from. Female body found inside donation bin, South Carolina. So body found inside a donation bin in South Carolina had likely been dead for at least several months, Kershaw County authorities said. Someone found the body after checking the rusty bin well off U.S. Highway 1 in Lugoff after smelling a bad odor. Investigators first thought the body might be from someone seeking shelter from the recent cold. So it's similar, and they refer to the same other case there. And then this one right here, it says virtually mummified body found in donation bin, not emptied in many years. A virtually mummified woman's body was found in a clothing donation bin in South Carolina that likely had not been emptied in many years, according to authorities. The so far unidentified remains were discovered early New Year's Eve in a rusty bin near the Camden West Inn in Lugoff after someone reported a stomach-churning odor, officials in Kershaw County said. Investigators initially assumed it was someone who sought shelter from the recent cold, but soon realized the remains had been there for at least several months. Coroner David West said. So it's months, okay? Just make sure you... The body was virtually mummified. The donation bin had likely not been emptied in many years, West added, saying that the bin contained ancient items like VHS tapes. Sheriff Lee Bone told Fox 57 that it was impossible to ID the woman or detect her age. So that's the building it's near. They have a picture in here. So I was looking around on Google Earth. And let's see. Yeah, I was looking around on Google Earth, and what the part that was hard was, you see how the it's got the red roof there, and I couldn't find any red roof, but I decided to look at this one, and then I realized, well, there you go. I mean, that's definitely, that's the building, right? I mean, it's got that part of the roof, then this part, and then that, you know, so all three of those elements, it just has a green roof here in the on Google Earth, and the date of this image is probably from like 2016 or something. So I went down to Street View, amazingly, since they've got it on inside the parking lot area here, and if you turn around right here, well, look at that. There's the rusty clothing and shoes drop off. Is that crazy? And there's, now that's the building there with the red roof on it. I can't scroll back, but there it is right there. So now it's got the red roof, and here we go. That bin right there, somehow there was a person inside. They probably stuffed her in there, and then she dropped down inside of there, and it hadn't been emptied in years. So there you go. I wonder if there's a way to avoid this slow start that we're having tonight. Yeah, so anyways, the body was found inside of this rusty bin. This is an image from October of 2021. So the body, if it was been in there for months, probably was put in there about 8 months or so later after that. I tried to say it with the TH, it just doesn't work. Investigators initially assumed it was someone who sought shelter from the recent cold, but soon realized the remains had been there at least several months. There you go. Thank you, Kathy Friedenmaker. Yeah. Pretty crazy, though, to not empty it in years. I mean, what's the point of having the bin? It's ridiculous. Hey, thank you, Don. So, I don't know. I don't think there's much more information on this currently, but It was kind of weird that within 2 months, 3 months, there are two different people found in donation bins. One of them was halfway in, maybe got stuck. Yeah, several months. Yep. That's the answer. Okay. So that is going to do it for this one. I don't know. There's really no other information. I just wanted to show you where it was, where they were found. This is in South Carolina. I doubt they're connected. I mean, it could be connected somehow. Maybe there's some... Because if this lady was in this one for several months, was she killed back in October at the same time that other person was in there? I mean, that'd be pretty strange, right? I mean, I guess it happens, but I mean, what are the odds? 2 donation bins? That's another one of those crazy stories. Hey, thanks, Kim Christian. Chewbacca.
Chewbacca? Oh, I'll be Chewbacca if you want me to.
We should all check these bins before putting... Yeah, right.
Several months.
What does that mean, Amy D? You haven't said a word in here. I'm speaking from experience. Carry on. Nobody knows who you are, nor are they interested. All right. So, anyways, I'm going to get out of here.
Like that. I guess I need to take them somewhere else.
What's going on? Carry on. Oh, I'm so important. Oh, I'm speaking from experience. Thank you, Mike D. The one in California, the only one that I could find near the intersection that they said, I spent way too much time looking for the one in California. The only one that I could find was this bin. It's near where they said, and it looks like the one in their pictures. It's red, but the buildings don't match, so it can't be the one. And it was right near the intersection. It was right here is where they said. So I figured, that bin there would be a pretty good choice, but I don't know, maybe that one was moved at some point. Carry on, everybody. Oh, yes. Yes, sirree. Hey, welcome to Oogla Boogla Freaks. Brown-eyed girl. Thank you. All right, now we're going to do the cold case that Kappa Kino brought in. Sent me in an email, actually. And her name is Jennifer Harris, but her full name is Jennifer Lynette Harris from, I believe it was May 2002. So here we go. This is the only thing that was in the paper right at the beginning. There might have been one where I might look something else up there. Let me try something really quick. Maybe I'll do May. Now I'll keep that open here. So let me open up that link again. And then when we get the river name again, I'll put it back in there. Yeah, well, thanks, Lisa Murphy. Yeah, I want people to see that there's other cases out there that are interesting too. They're just people get so fixated on one thing that... All right, so right here it just says Jennifer Lynette Harris, 28, was found dead Saturday, May 18th, 2002. Jennifer was born October 26, 1973 in Bonham, the daughter of Jerry Harris and Alicia K. Akery Harris. She was a 1992 graduate of Bonham High School. She received her bachelor's degree in aquatic biology and her master's degree in kinesiology, wellness and nutrition from Stephen F. Austin State University. So really another one of those accomplished people. I think my music is too loud. Yeah, there we go. Didn't even realize it. I hear that so often.
Cold case. Yay.
Cold case. Yay. Alright, and let me get Jen Allison in there. Thank you very much, Jen Allison and Lisa Murphy. Okay, so that was just the death announcement. Then in June of that year, that was the only next article that I could find. It said, tests may give clues about dead woman. A Bonham woman was found dead in the Red River. So now let's go back to this and then say Red River. And is that going to, let's see if I click on that and go to around May 19th, which is my mom's birthday. 18th. No. Yeah, that should have. How about the 20th? How about just Red River? I mean, who talks about that in an article? That happened. Whoa! Carry on, Gray. Thanks, Tosh. I'm an expert. Carry on.
Carry on, Gray. Carry on.
Yeah, they're funny. To the murders in Idaho, but it's nice to move on to other murders. Just as important. Yeah.
No disrespect to the murders in Idaho,
I agree.
but it's nice to move on to other murders just as important. Thank you, Gray.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to that later in the second half, but at least we're going over a cold case. I have a folder sort of filled with ones people have sent to me. So I figure I got to get through those too. Some of them I've already done, though. Oh, man. Thanks, Michelle. Hey, thanks, Michelle. Yeah, this is one, I think, one that she sent. Yeah, so I don't really see anything in there. It was very low newspaper coverage on this. So anyways, a Bonham woman was found dead in the Red River last month, and officials are hoping toxicology tests will clear up whether foul play was involved. Jennifer L. Harris Holman, 28, was reported missing May 13th, by family members. 5 days later, her body was found by two fishermen trolling the Red River, said Mike Overton, with the Bryan. This one has some really kind of disturbing information in it. But there will not be a trigger warning, okay? It's just, it is what it is. This is a true crime channel. If you can't deal with it, then, you know, you probably should be in a different genre, right? I mean, this always has bad things in it. 5 days later, her body was found by two fishermen trolling the Red River, said Mike Overton with the Bryan County Sheriff's Department in Durant, Oklahoma. So the Red River is the border between Texas and Oklahoma. The vegetation line on the Texas bank of the river is part of the border between Texas and Oklahoma. Because the woman's body was found in the river, the forensic examinations are taking place in Oklahoma. Toxicology results and cause of death are expected sometime in the next couple of weeks. According to Overton, Holman's family said she was pregnant at the time, so that's kind of interesting, right, of her disappearance, but when local officials performed an initial autopsy, her uterus was missing. I mean, that's pretty ridiculous right there, don't you think? The Oklahoma State Medical Examiner's Office was unable to confirm Holman's uterus was missing. I'm not sure why they're saying, calling her. Okay, I guess she Jennifer L. Harris, but Holman. I'm not sure if she got married or where the Holman came from, but. Holman's uterus was missing. Okay, the case is being treated as a homicide, so no information could be released Tuesday, said Ray Blankeny, operations director. We believe she was killed in Texas and then dumped, Overton said. All the activity has occurred in Texas. Overton said Holman was dead before her body entered the river because her lungs were empty upon examination. Had she drowned, they would have been filled with water. Although Oklahoma officials are saying foul play is likely in the case, Texas officials are less certain. We are working this as a questionable death, said Mike McClellan, a lieutenant with the Fannin County Sheriff's Department in Bonham, about 30 miles east of Sherman. Until a cause of death is released, McClellan said, the investigation is stalled. According to an obituary in the Bonham... Is it Bonham or Bonham? Okay, if you're out there, Cappuccino, is it 1, Bonham, 2, Bonham? I don't know. And watch, neither. Just Bonham, like that. Bonham. Bonham. Okay, just Bonham. Okay. All right. Until a cause of death is released, McClellan said, the investigation is stalled. According to obituary, the Bonham Daily Favorite, the Daily Favorite, Holman graduated from Bonham High School in 1992 and received degrees in aquatic biology, kinesiology, wellness, and nutrition. She also subscribed to the Universalist Deist religion. So she's in a religion that's Universalist Deist. So then I looked up, what Universalism is, and it's a school of Christian theology focused around the doctrine of universal reconciliation, the view that all human beings will ultimately be saved and restored to a right relationship with God. Christian universalism and the belief or hope in the universal reconciliation through Christ. Okay, so I mean, it's more like everybody is going to be included, right? Even Dahmer. I'm just kidding. Well, maybe. I mean, I don't know if I'm kidding from their point of view. So that's in there. Then the deism one is, deism is essentially the view that God exists, but that he is not directly involved in the world. Deism pictures God as the great clockmaker who created the clock, wound it up, and let it go. So he has no interactions. So they must not pray then, right? Because usually people are praying for something. So anyways, that was just to give some information about her. You guys are buffering? Oh, yeah, just refresh your screen if you're buffering. And also you can choose with the cog wheel below the video, you can switch the the quality level. You can watch a lower quality and then it's easier to stream. If you have it on HD, because I like you guys to see all the pores on my face and any potential zits or... I'm just kidding. I don't know why people... I remember I felt so bad for this kid at a Blazer game where this kid was singing the national anthem and he must have just got through puberty because his face looked like a... I mean, it was just... And they had it so close, zoomed in on his face with all of these pimples and everything. It was just... Man, how stupid. I mean, pan out a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, pizza was kind of what I was thinking, but it sounded kind of gross. Okay, so let's get rid of that. And then 2003. Some of these I'm just putting dates on it because they didn't have a date listed on when this was created, but I wanted to read them in a particular order. So this says this is an article on the internet about her from laketexoma.com. It says at the time, on May 12, 2002, Christy Farr, Jennifer Harris's friend, was the last person to see her alive in Bonham, Texas. The two women were hanging out at Christy's house. So, what was her name? Christy Farr. Here, let me get that one. Was it K? They spelled it differently. I wonder if this article just spelled her name wrong, assuming it was spelled that way. Because there is a Christy Farr, but it's K-R-I-S-T-Y, not C-H-R-I-S-T-I-E. So we'll see if this makes sense. Oh yeah. Okay, so this is where Jennifer lived, and I would have to imagine that this was the correct person here. And that address is from, doesn't really give a date, that's the only address this person's lived at. I mean, Farr is not a common last name. Do you guys all agree with that? F-A-R-R. Like, you don't see that every day. So, when you look at that and then you see that Jennifer lived right here, that's got to be the correct one. They must have spelled it incorrectly inside the in this article here. Was last person to see her alive in Bonham, Texas. The two women were hanging out at Christy's house. Rainy weather dominated the night, and when Jennifer left Christy's house, she did not tell Christy where she was going. Jennifer was 28 years old and drove a green Jeep. By 2001, Jennifer had married Rob Holman. Okay, there we go. Who she met in high school. Rob followed Jennifer to a Dallas suburb where she had enrolled in massage therapy school 3 years earlier. Rob wanted to move back to the small town lifestyle of Bonham, and Jennifer met James Hamilton at school. James was living with the mother. Let's try to figure this out. What's going on here? By 2001, Jennifer had married Rob Holman, who she met in high school. Rob followed Jennifer to a Dallas suburb where she had enrolled in massage therapy school 3 years earlier. Rob wanted to move back to the small town lifestyle of Bonham, and then Jennifer met James Hamilton at school. James was living with the mother of his child. I don't know what this Hamilton person, why they're bringing that up just randomly like that. James Hamilton at school. James was living with the mother of his child with another baby on the way. Living with the mother of his child. Anyway, we'll figure out what this means later. Rob moved back to Bonham, and Jennifer and James opened a massage therapy and wellness. Does anybody? You know what? Let me read this one in a different order because maybe we'll figure out who this James guy is. That didn't make any sense. They just sort of introduced him without really saying anything. I mean, it was ridiculous. Okay, so this is new details now on Fannin County only unsolved homicide. 25 years old Jennifer Harris Holman of Bonham was found dead back in 2002, floating in the Red River east of Denison. So she lived right here, and her friend lived right there. And then up here I don't know exactly where her body was, but Denison is right up, where was that? Denison was one of the towns right over here. Let me type that in. Yeah. Yeah, so it's right there, and they said east of it, so it could be, anywhere along the stretch, but here's where she's from. So, somewhere around in here. I did see a picture where there was a bridge, and they were in the water looking around, so it could be more around in this area. And that would kind of make sense, too. And, I'm going to move it over there because that makes sense. I'm going to move this pin over to that bridge. So I saw that in a video that I was watching. But we'll get back to that one article later. That was just so weird how they introduced that name, like it was just out of nowhere. The town of Bonham will never forget their own one and only unsolved homicide, that of Jennifer Harris Holman. It has been 7 years and still no answers. Let me go back to that other article. Rob Holman, and then, but her last name is Harris, so I don't know where Hamilton comes in. Interesting. It has been 7 years and still no answers, no arrest, but it's never far from the minds of those who call Fannin County home. I feel that's wrong. They need to catch whoever did it to her, because that's wrong what happened to her. It seems like it was somebody, if her uterus is removed and she was pregnant, that is really hardcore, a psycho. Why did you, well, here's the thing. In 2002, DNA was known. And if they were killed, maybe the father of the child is somebody different than the actual her husband, right? So they thought, man, I got to get rid of the baby itself, because that would lead right to me if they get genealogy, or not genealogy, didn't really do that much back then, but like the DNA from the child would be like half his. Yeah, it could be a jealous woman, yeah. Harris says the public investigators out of Richardson, Texas, is currently following new leads. In fact, the PI told him to ask Fannin County investigators for some evidence, a blouse, a bra, and some jeans believed to be Jennifer. So she was found nude, and her clothing was found nearby. So obviously she was assaulted. But like maybe not like sexually assaulted, but like, it's so weird. It's a weird situation. I guess you would have to take somebody's clothes off if you're going to remove the uterus like that. So it has the appearance of a sexual assault, but I guess you could call it that, but it's just in such a severe form that you wouldn't even really want to call it that. It's unbelievable. As for the victim's father, Jerry Harris, he says one chance of the case being solved in his lifetime is slim. He said the chance, a very little chance, he said. Well, the way it's going right now, it looks like it won't be. But there is one person who is giving him glimmer of hope, a private investigator who Harris says was hired by a group of anonymous benefactors. Benefactors he doesn't even know, that are just trying to solve the case. So probably, people like on YouTube, or not YouTube, but on social media, even back then. Now, well, this article's from 2009, and that's sort of at the beginning of true crime, so there might have been some people that were willing to pay for it, and they knew that they would get the information because they're the ones paying for it. But for a father clinging to little hope, his little girl's death will be solved. It's another step towards more DNA evidence and another shot at cracking a case where it seems so much has fallen through the cracks. It says right here, but to add more drama to an already intense case, Wednesday afternoon, investigators found those items simply mismarked in the evidence room. All the evidence has always been in custody. We just located, so they had lost all those items. By losing the evidence in case it's not found, we are at least missing potential opportunity to have the only incriminating hard evidence in the case. But to add more drama to an already intense case Wednesday afternoon, investigators found those items simply mismarked in the evidence room. All the evidence had always been in custody. We just located this because there was no paper trail to for these particular items. But for a father clinging to little hope, his little girl's death will be solved. It's another step towards more DNA evidence. So the clothing that was removed, they were hoping to find DNA on that. I think I'm going to try that article again here. Like, what the hell's going on here? Let me try this again. Rainy weather dominated the night, and when Jennifer left Christie's house, she did not tell Christie where she was going. By 2001, Jennifer had married Rob Holman, who she met in high school. Rob followed Jennifer, this part makes sense, to Dallas, suburb, where she enrolled in massage therapy school. But I thought she was doing all these other, high-end schooling. I mean, Rob wanted to move back to the small-town lifestyle of Bonham, and Jennifer met James. So Jennifer met some guy named James Hamilton at school. James was living with the mother of his child with another baby on the way. So that's some totally different, a guy that's a friend of hers that is living with the mother of his child, and that lady is also pregnant with one on the way. Rob moved back to Bonham, and Jennifer and James Hamilton, I guess, opened a massage therapy and wellness studio in Frisco, Texas, which failed. They also began seeing each other romantically. Okay, now we get somewhere. James wanted to marry Jennifer, but their relationship was also rocky. Looking at bankruptcy with the studio and her breakup with James, Jennifer began seeing Rob again, her husband, who had found a girlfriend. Oh my God, how complicated can you get? Jennifer began seeing Rob again. So Rob Holman here. So she married Rob Holman, then he left, and then she started seeing this James Hamilton guy who was living with a woman and also had a child on the way. But then they started seeing each other romantically, but then their relationship oh man, you'd almost have to have a chart for this one. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Mama 457 Rose. But I think this is going to get pretty interesting just by the way it sounded. James wanted to marry Jennifer. So James is the guy that she was just friends with, and then obviously cheated on her husband with this guy. Looking at bankruptcy with the studio and her bankrupt with James, Jennifer began seeing Rob again. So she started seeing her husband again, who had he had found a girlfriend. So maybe you're right about up above. Somebody said maybe a woman did it. Rob was seeing both Jennifer and the girlfriend. Oh boy. On Mother's Day, May 12th, 2002, Jennifer visited Christy, her friend, remember, and left at around 8 p.m. Bonham resident, Rhonda Fitzwater, I guess, walked her dog nightly. Rhonda was walking down CR 2610 near Lake Bonham. So let's see where that is. Okay, so Jennifer lives there. And 2610 is right here. Right? That's the one they said? Okay. Is that... Yeah, so this whole thing is 2610.
No bail.
Starting right
future
there.
Infractions, but please continue.
Yeah. Alright, so there's CR 2610. No bail. So I'm already at -5 for future infractions. Yeah, that's bad. It's bad news. Okay. It looks like it. No, it looks like it's right here too. So let me put it right at the beginning of it. It's right there. And then it ends. Man, it goes way up here. So it ends right here. CR 2610. So that would be the end of it. So from here to all the way up there, and then there's Lake Bonham. Okay, so let's get back to this. Alright, so let's read that part again. On Mother's Day, May 12, 2002, Jennifer visited Christy and left at around 8 p.m. Bonham resident Rhonda Fitzwater walked her dog nightly. Rhonda was walking down CR 2610 near Lake Bonham, a deserted road, when she spotted a green Jeep left empty on the side of this road. Rhonda didn't think much of it until she walked her dog the next night and saw the Jeep still there. Rhonda alerted the Bonham police. The police soon discovered that the Jeep belonged to Jennifer Harris. The search for the missing Jennifer commenced for 6 days with no results. A fisherman found Jennifer's body floating in the Red River on May 18, 2002. An investigation into Jennifer's murder ensued. Police questioned Rob Holman and James Hamilton, and they both denied seeing Jennifer on May 12th. Yeah, maybe it's one of the one of the females in part of the story, right? Well, they could have easily got married since they were dating at the time. After their questioning, James was at McDonald's with a friend 50 miles away and passed a lie detector test. Rob agreed to take a polygraph test but did not take the test. The sheriff's office have not charged. So Rob is the husband that came back. The sheriff's office have not charged or arrested either man in relation to Jennifer's murder. Jennifer had told at least one friend that she might be pregnant. Her autopsy stunned the medical examiner and investigators. Jennifer's uterus and other body parts were missing from the body. I mean, that's strange. I want to know. It's it's kind of gross to say, but was she cut open, have it removed, or were all these organs pulled out of her, private area? Because they don't ever mention that she was cut up or anything like that. Yeah, well, that's true, SO, but this is also a true crime channel, you know what I mean? So we don't do trigger warnings or, oh, hey, everybody, that kind of thing. Thanks, Serena. A wave attempt. Yeah, I mean, not every single thing in the true crime world is not a pleasant thing. Unless it's, like white collar crime, some stupid, boring financial crime or something.
Ocean wave.
So what happened in that? What are you guys talking about in that football game? Like somebody actually died on the field, or what's going on? I keep seeing people commenting. That's insane. It happens in soccer quite a bit for some reason. In Europe, people will just be running and then they collapse, and So a player passed out. Is he the quarterback or? Mm-hmm. Who is he? Oh, but he's just, did something happen to him, or he just was standing there and he passed out? Because that happens in soccer, too. Yeah, you keep, everybody's saying the same thing, Lillian. Can you read above it? Like 19 people have typed that in. Hey, thanks, brown-eyed girl. Do. You guys, read what other people type in. Everybody doesn't need to type in the same thing over and over again. He tackled somebody, got up, and collapsed. That's crazy. Yeah, but I don't really have anything to add to it. So do you guys mind if I get back to this? I mean, I can't fix that, or there's nothing to investigate. It's just, it is what it is. Sounds pretty horrific. Doesn't sound good.
Jumping on that Linda Howell's wave, ocean wave.
Were they showing all this stuff on the screen? I mean, that's crazy. It seemed like they would have blocked the view or something like that. Thank you, who am? I don't comment much, but I'm always watching. Oh, thank you.
I don't comment much, but I'm always watching. Thanks for all you do, heart.
Yeah, I kind of figured everybody was left to go watch that. That's been a nightmare for the team. All right. Anyways, you guys can do whatever you got to go do. I got to keep doing the show. I can't play the NFL thing. I can't read about it. I can't, it just is what it is. So. Huh? Gray always creates a dramatic atmosphere for his viewers, Todd wrote. And what does it have to do with anything that we were just talking about? Go ahead and explain it, Todd. I'm just waiting for you. You're always so interesting. I mean, I got to tell you, whenever I start a show, I always say, man, this is not going to be a show tonight unless Todd shows up. And then I sit around and I just keep reading the comments, because I know you'll always have something really insightful to say, something very interesting, something we can all just take a hold of and go, wow, that's interesting. Remodeling your camper? Yeah. Yeah, he's one of those people, when he says, I'll be back in a little bit, or says, hey, I'm back, everybody, I really do go, oh, thank God. You are the most interesting person on the planet. All right, anyways, let's see where we're at here. After their questioning, James was at McDonald's with a friend 50 miles away. So James was the boyfriend that had a girlfriend that he had a kid with, and she was pregnant. Man, the girlfriend seems pretty suspicious, right? Because he wanted to be with Jennifer, and now she's pregnant. Well, is that baby his? The baby that Jennifer was pregnant with, and subsequently her uterus removed, was that actually James's baby, not Rob's. Because remember, Rob had left. Man, that's crazy, right? Yeah, it's just a troll, Mag. You can go up. Feel free to go up and block that account. Yeah, I just goof around like that. Thank you, Jeffrey. So this is actually making sense to me right here. I think that Jennifer was pregnant with James's baby, and this is what I feel like right now, and the girlfriend found out about that and maybe has something. She may have put leverage on James, although he was at a McDonald's 50 miles away, so I don't know. I think maybe she has something to do with it. Well, it's not passive-aggressive humor at all, right? It's literally intentional, Passive-aggressive would be if I was pretending. It was more sarcastic. So. Jennifer had told at least one friend that she might be pregnant. Her autopsy stunned the medical examiner investigators. Jennifer's uterus and other body parts were missing from her body. J.Y.L. Wagner, Jennifer's best friend, and Rob Holman reported that Jennifer had told them she was pregnant by Rob before her murder. Best friend and Rob Holman reported that Jennifer had told them she was pregnant by Rob. Oh, by Rob. Yeah, but she may have just said that. Rob reported that he had last seen Jennifer a month earlier near the Bonham Drive in a movie theater. There was no evidence that Jennifer had been pregnant. Forensic examiner in Dallas concluded that her missing body parts had been destroyed by turtles and fish during her 6 day. Really? In 6 days, turtles and fish are going to destroy the uterus? Yeah, I'm not really sure about that. Thank you, Rita. Turtles and fish during the 6 days in the Red River. Jennifer's death was ruled homicidal violence without an exact cause of death due to decomposition. Jennifer's case quickly went cold, while rumors about her murder in Fannin County fired up. Today, a cart with 5 storage boxes of evidence and a few files related to Jennifer's case sits in the Fannin County Sheriff's Evidence Room. In 2016, Mark Johnson ran for Fannin County Sheriff and made a promise to Jennifer's father, Jerry Harris, that he would find Jennifer's killer and renew Jennifer's investigation. So they have a timeline in here. It says March, Jennifer moves back to Bonham. 2002, Jennifer is last seen by Christy Farr at 8 p.m. 2002, Rhonda Fitzwater sees Jennifer's abandoned Jeep on May 13th near Lake Bonham. Now let's see if she lived right around there. I'm going to check that out too.
Chewbacca? Oh, I'll be Chewbacca if you want
me to.
100k, wow. Happy for you, X.
Well, thank you. Okay, that might be it. 62. She was just walking her dog. She probably wouldn't go way far away from her house. Address history. Back in 2002, she lived right here. Let's see if this is getting close. Oh, look at that. Yeah, so she lived. That's crazy. So she lives on 2610. This is where, well, it's weird because her address is 4093 County Road 2610, which is that road, but that address is here and here. So I don't really know which one, but you can just say that her Jeep was probably in this area, right? It's kind of odd to have two addresses like that. That's probably not it, though. I bet you she lived at this one right here. Maybe this is, yeah, it looks like a, Nope, that's it. So it could be this one. That doesn't seem like a house, though. Maybe that right there, though, back in there. So I think we're doing okay. We got a phone call already. What do you bet on this being a troll? I mean, if we got a call already, there's nothing to be that we talked about. That let's do it. All right, it's 445. You're on. Hello. Hey, what's going on?
I heard you talking New Year's Eve. They thought it was me. I'm calling from the county jail. I stuck in my cell phone.
Wait, you're calling from where?
The county jail. I listened to the New Year's Eve podcast.
Yeah, I didn't think it was you. I was thinking. I don't know, man, because I listened to your call, but I don't have a lot. I got to get back to the story that I was on. But hey, everybody, this is Bryan C. He's not the Bryan from Pennsylvania, the killer in the case, okay, in the Idaho Four case. Yeah.
I'm just so happy the cops got him. Remember me and you were talking, if he left DNA there between, if he wasn't in the system and genealogy, the case was going to get solved.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, that's what I said on one of the early shows, but I got to get back to the case that I'm covering because I don't want to. It's not fair to that. It's not fair to that case.
I'll let you go. I just wanted to call and clear that up. I'll give you a call in a couple days. All right.
All right, man. Have a good one. See you. Bye-bye.
All right. Have a good night. Happy late New Year. All right.
All right. You too, man. Have a good one. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Yeah. All right. See. All the people. Hey, Gray. Listen to Bryan C. Wow, man. What the guy doesn't sound like. He doesn't sound. First of all, like what the guy would look like. Secondly, he never talked about anything that was weird. I listened to an interview because somebody sent me the link and I was like, oh yeah, that guy. Yeah, I like that guy. Yeah, he's nothing to do with anything. All right, anyways, let me get back to this. So it looks like they got her laptop and clothing were booked into evidence. Deborah Lambert saw a news report that Jennifer unsolved murder and reports to police that she saw a girl with a reddish-brown hair on the banks of the Red River with 3 men while driving across a bridge with her mother at 5 p.m. on Mother's Day, May 12th, 2002. Ooh. Well, that's pretty interesting. See, this person saw a woman with some men. Wouldn't that be interesting if, her family was trying to get her out of the way because she was going to have a second child, and I don't know, didn't want. Maybe it had some financial reasons. I don't know. Two of the men had hold of Jennifer's... wait, hold on a second. Deborah Lambert saw a news report about Jennifer's unsolved murder and reports to police that she saw a girl with reddish-brown hair. Oh, so that's actually... so there was 3 men. This reddish-brown hair is actually Jennifer herself. On the Red River with 3 men while driving across a bridge with her mother at 5 p.m. on Mother's Day, May 12th. 2 of the men had hold of Jennifer's elbows, according to Deborah. It looks like the girl was trying to get away from them, and the men were restraining her. Deborah said she made eye contact with the girl, who looked terrified. Deborah did not call the sheriffs at the time of the sighting because she was too afraid to get involved. Deborah's account does not fit in with the investigator's timeline. Okay. The Texas Ranger investigate Jennifer's murder. This is 2004. The show Deborah a, let's see. The show Deborah a photograph lineup. You mean two show? The Texas Rangers investigate Jennifer's murder. The show Deborah a photo lineup of the men she saw with the girls. She identified Rob Holman. Rob Holman, on the advice of his attorney, did not speak with the Texas Ranger. The Rangers suspended their investigation in 2005. Their official report says no physical evidence, specific cause of death, or credible witness link any particular person as a suspect. 2010, Daryl Parker began working on Jennifer's case in 2011 as a lieutenant in the Fannin County Sheriff's Office and is now a private investigator on her case without charging a fee. Daryl Parker excavates the foundation where the cottage burned down and its well and finds blue marl mud. Not sure what that means. 2017, Sheriff Mark Johnson reopens Jennifer's case and reports that evidence was mishandled due to lack of experience and training of officers in 2002. Jennifer's laptop and clothing are discovered as missing in the evidence. Evidence from Jennifer's investigation was stored in pods on the sheriff's property. Much of the evidence was found destroyed by water leaks in the pods. 2017, Joe Murrah, private investigator and CBS News consultant, is hired and believes the original investigation into Jennifer's murder was extremely weak. He works with Sheriff Mark Johnson, and there's no physical evidence in the case, only circumstantial evidence. Joe believes the caretaker cottage was not the scene of Jennifer's murder because of fire. I'm not sure where the caretaker's cottage came in. This is the second time that this person wrote in this article introduced something without even explaining what you're talking about. Had some good information in there, though. Joe believes that the photo lineup with Deborah Lambert was not conducted correctly, but the Texas Rangers will not comment on an unsolved case. Deborah and her mother are deceased. Yeah, let me get to the... ...2019... Jennifer Harris was 28. She disappeared on May 12, 2002. Her Jeep was found abandoned on the side of the road. 6 days later, a fisherman found her nude body floating in the Red River. Let me go up to that Red River place really quick, where I put this pin, and there's a bridge there. Does it make sense that you could be driving over this and make eye contact? For some reason, they don't have Street View on that. Is there another bridge anywhere? I don't see one. I think that's got to be the bridge. It's the only one that makes sense. It's really the only bridge east of that town, Denison, right there. So let's see. If you're looking at the water, you go around, and then there's a bridge. So yeah, let's go down here. Somebody took a 360-degree shot. Oh yeah, it looks like you could maybe make eye contact with somebody. If you're down there, and then you're driving over the bridge, it's pretty shallow. It's not high up in the air. Here's a good example. There's some people there. Could you see over the guardrail? I guess if somebody was maybe this far away and you're driving over this, you might be able to see them. I mean, when you say eye contact, it's hard to know. Alright, let's see. So her nude body was floating in the Red River. Police learned Jennifer had told at least one other person she was pregnant. Initially, while she was missing, police reached out to the two men in her life, James Hamilton, her ex-boyfriend, and Rob Holman, her ex-husband. Both denied seeing her the night that she disappeared, Both have denied being involved in the murder, and neither has been arrested or charged with any crime related to Harris's murder. The case grew cold, and along the way became part of the Bonham folklore, and it's rumored. I wish I could get rid of this. And it's rumor mill. In 2017, then newly elected Fannin County Sheriff Mark Johnson made good on campaign promise to take a second look at the Jennifer Harris case. What he found was limited information and some evidence that had been damaged and destroyed by water getting into a storage pod. Johnson says he believes other evidence may have been mishandled. Darrell Parker, a former sheriff's lieutenant and Marine, is now a private investigator working with Harris family to find answers. If anything happens in the case, rain or shine, any time of day, I'm on it, Parker says. Also trying to solve the case is Barry Wernick, a filmmaker married to Harris's sister, Alyssa. He began working on the project 2 years ago. He says he's done interviews with people who were not interviewed by law enforcement early on and is following up on any leads he gets. Finding the killer and actually being able to prove who the killer is, will that actually be able to provide closure? Well, yeah, for my family it will, says Wernick. It doesn't get any easier, says Alyssa Wernick. There's not one day that I don't wake up and think about my sister. In the northeast corner of Texas, where the banks of the Red River touch Oklahoma, you'll find Fannin County and the town of Bonham, one of the oldest cities in the Lone Star State. And it's where Mark Johnson, who had just wrapped up 32 years in law enforcement, decided to ditch retirement and run for sheriff in 2016. I met Jerry Harris, the father of the young lady, on the campaign trail, and he made a promise from one father to another to continue to investigate into the murder. When I came here in January 1, I took over. I demanded that this case be brought to me. It sounds like they're just kind of going to go over the detailed version of brilliant red-haired girl, bright brown eyes, who played tennis and was a cheerleader. Alyssa Wernick, she was an idealist, and she knew that there was a bigger world outside of Bonham, Texas. Bonham is probably your prototypical small town USA. Gossip is on an epic scale. Okay, you guys. Whenever I do the reading, same thing. Let's see. Sheriff Mark Johnson. This is all the documentation there is. When she first came up missing, this is a poster. They're looking for her. Newspaper articles, business records, and this is just some case reports. So I guess that's it. All they got right there. Those 2 boxes. Kind of looks like a lot, but. And these links are in the description if you want to go read through this whole. It's too long for me to read through this whole thing, but it's in the description. And what was the other one? There's one from May this year. We want answers, remembering Jennifer Harris 20 years after her unsolved murder. On the bank of the Red River in 2002, Jennifer Harris' body washed ashore after she had been missing for 6 days. She was a cheerleader, said Alyssa Wernick, Jennifer Harris's younger sister. She was involved in student council. She was very popular. A fisherman found her floating naked without her uterus. For the person that lived for 20 years now, with knowing that he killed someone and disposed of her body like a piece of trash in the water, it's sad, said Fannin County Sheriff Mark Johnson. Any clues or evidence did not surface with her. I could describe it as just torture, said Wernick. Not a day goes by. We want answers. Johnson said there is simply not enough evidence to convict someone yet. There's not anything to directly connect someone to that murder, said Johnson. And the sad part is if you have DNA on the clothing, it could be explained because she knew those people, like the guys. They could explain it. Oh, yeah, I'd go to the house often. Of course, my touch DNA would be on there. Thank you, Tosh. But see, this is just what I'm saying. When I do these cold cases and other things not related to the Idaho 4, it gets discouraging because it's way different. And you guys obviously can see it. So if you guys don't want to ever do the cold cases again, that's a good way to discourage that from happening, because it's you know, it'd be great to be able to keep doing what we've been doing, because the last 3 months in a row, from the income from my channel, I donated 8,000, 8,000, and then 10, 26,000 in 3 months, right? But that's because there were these really big cases going on during those 3 months. So when I cover these cold cases, it totally, everything drops dramatically. You know, the new memberships, the super chats, everything like that. And that's why it's kind of sad, it's discouraging. It shows you why, though it took me so long to get to 100,000, is because there'd be months on end where I would just go over cold cases and, you know, a new case here and there, but it's that's what I'm talking about. So it's got to be, I wish it had the same effect mentally on people, no matter what case you're covering, but it just isn't the reality. You know what I mean? So why it is, I don't know, but I used to, something that it's always bothered me is that people just do the big cases all the time, over and over and over, and that's all they do, and their channels move up really quick. But I understand, I see it, I understand why they're doing it. It's probably smarter business-wise to do it that way, right? It makes more sense. But
thanks for covering
it doesn't seem right, though.
Congrats on 100K. Here's
that's the thing.
100K.
But what is right? Right? What is right? Yeah. Yeah, there's trolls in here all the time. Right, see? See what I'm saying? But there's people that actually believe what that DZ up there typed in. That's the reality of it. I mean, just look at what's going on this show tonight. Right? It's exactly why those people do it. No, I do too, Mag, but you can see the difference though, right? So it's sort of like, if I really want to do better for my channel, get more subs, have a larger income, be able to donate way more money. If I just sit there and just keep doing the cold cases all the time, it doesn't seem to make sense, because I see it now more. The last 3 months, there just happened to be these 3 bigger cases, and it was crazy. I mean, it was awesome. It's interesting and fun for me to do it, but I also have fun, because I think it's interesting to do, using the word fun. People hate when you say fun, but I mean, isn't it interesting makes something somewhat fun, right? I mean, you don't have a smile on your face other than when I make you guys laugh, but it's just, it's the conundrum. Yeah, it'd be cool. I'm going to try to do more like a mix, but you see what happens when there's even a mix, right? I mean, you sacrifice dramatically on the nights that you do the other case. Right. So.
Chewbacca?
Yeah, I like those too. But have you seen the? Here, watch this. Let me show you guys something.
We love the cold cases.
Here, let me just show you
Don't
something.
want to disturb you.
Here. So here, watch this. The other day I put out a video saying Idaho Four, the Bryan Kohberger, the Stalker, 95,000 views. This other video was just an animation, 22,000. Then the one I did, this story here, Who Killed Tina Losser, which is one of the more interesting stories you'll ever hear, has 3,000 views. And that video there took 10 times the work of any of these. Here. Okay? Then this story here, I mean, you guys have seen it, but these other people haven't seen it. Who killed Leota Camp? That one's really interesting as well. 2,600 views, and that video took, you know, hours and hours and hours and hours and hours to make that thing. And so it's really, look at the difference. 95, 22, 3, 51, 2, 46, 73, 42. Yeah,
let's
so.
support cold cases, freaks.
Yeah, hopefully you can see what I'm showing you there. Right? And those are videos. Why what I have 100,000 subscribers. When I put out a video on a cold case, how come only 2,000 people watch it? How does that happen? Yeah. Sucks. Thanks, man.
Cold case, ocean wave, ocean
And
wave.
thanks to
ocean
Snarky
wave.
Cinderella. Yeah. And that was Christy Quasi up there. Yep. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, sometimes I just feel like I'm in this weird place where I have to sacrifice covering the really the really cold cases that nobody talks about, so that the channel can thrive. You know, I mean, I know I have the freaks show up all the time anyways, but eventually the 1,000 that are watching, it might dwindle back down to 400 or 500 again. Ian or whatever the hell your name is, that doesn't even make sense. Sorry for your confusion. Yeah. I got to do one on that one from what was that one from 57? Malvita Krutz. That one is just insane. I did a 3-nighter on that one. There were so many articles. It was all over the place. Yeah. But they're not the ones that are supporting the channel, Holly. Yeah, never is. Nah, I think I wouldn't. I think it's better to do the first half cold, so that people might even show up. But if you do the other ones, they'll bail before you get to the cold cases. Because they can't, none of them are going to solve the new one either. They just think they can, so it makes them get excited. Right, but people like it though, Zozo. That's the thing. Hey, are you still out there, Cappuccino? What do you think happened in this one? Hey Zozo, here's one for you. Look at this guy. Look at that guy. You have to have a comment on that one. Yeah, maybe it's instant gratification. Oh, yeah. I don't know if she's out there. I wonder why that doesn't fit the timeline. Oh, wait, because... yeah, that's right, because she was at her friend's house until 8. Yeah, so that doesn't fit the timeline. Remember that? She was at her friend's house until 8, so how would the girl see her at 5 at the river? Yeah, that makes sense. I do have all those. I do have a Venmo. Yeah. Yes. Are his ears riding low? By the way, did you guys all check out your significant other last night with the protractor like we talked about? Let's see. Jeez. Oh, man. Lots of cold cases have been solved over the past few years. Yeah, I think they're incredibly important. Well, the cool part is we are working on those ourselves by paying for the genetic genealogy. So that's what's kind of cool about it. But that's the interesting dilemma I have, is if I cover the really cool current new cases, I would bring in so much more revenue and be able to support way more cases. But if I just sat there and I did the cold cases and old missing persons cases, you wouldn't be able to support as many DNA cases, but you could at least get the name out on those, right? Trish, stuck in the well. Bless your soul. We like the cold cases. That's how some of us found you. Yeah. Well, I'll definitely keep doing them, but it might be a mix, like people say.
Bless your soul, Gray. We like the cold cases. That's how some of us found you. Keep on trucking.
Keep on trucking. Well, thank you. Okay, so that was all I had for the cold cases. I don't know if Cappuccino... Capoco. Wait, now I can't remember now. Cappuccino. Now I'm thinking of like cappuccino. I can't. Wait, Capocchino. Capocchino. There we go. Right? Oh. Well, thank you so much, Christine. I'll put you in the spins over here. She's sending a Venmo. There we go. Yeah, the thing I was drinking was this really dark, hot chocolate with ice cubes in it. So it wasn't hot anymore. And earlier today I watched all three, Rocky 1, 2, and 3. Rocky 1 is so good. It just always makes you... I don't know what it is. It makes me emotional for some reason. And 2 is pretty good too, right? 3, not so much. Yeah. So now I'm recording 4 and 5. Isn't there a 6 out there when he's older? Something like that? Yeah, they did pretty good though. Like Rocky 2 is pretty good. I like 3 2 because of how Apollo Creed sort of became his trainer, and then to beat Clubber Lang after his manager died. But yeah, Rocky 1 and Jaws 1 are awesome. So is Rambo, the first one, First Blood or whatever. Like Rambo's really good. It's like you're right. They get worse and worse, but sometimes they maintain a decent level for sure. Yeah, Ivan Drago. Yeah, I think that's on right now. I'm sure you do. I figured that's where you got your name from when I was watching it today, Ivan Victor. Your fake name on YouTube. Everybody has fake names on YouTube except me, it sounds like. Because I don't think somebody was born called Run the World. Yes, everybody, Cindy, would you bring up your paper? And yes, you, Run the World. And Kathy, and... yeah, the first Rambo is really good. Yeah, it is frustrating. So over it. Well, Rocky and Jaws came out the same year, I think. 1976. That sounds right. Dun-dum. Dun-dum, 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 dun-dum. Hey, thank you so much, Elizabeth. How do you say it? Manjuswar? It's a hard one. And then also, this is on PayPal. Sarah Terry, who goes by Sereth. And also Charleston Amy.
Glad to be down with the Freak Gang Grey.
Charleston Amy is the one that got me to do the Innocence Project. We gave him $2,500 last year, I think. Yeah, except you didn't put Jenny on there before. It just said 8675309. You remember? Unless you're a different one. That picture on there, I can't tell what that is. It doesn't look like you. No, I love Predator too. Yeah, it's good. That one had Carl Weathers in it also. Stick around. That's not your style. Yeah, I just watched Lethal Weapon recently. That's good too, the first one. I mean, it's still good now. If you watch Predator, I mean, pretty amazing special effects for that time, and just everything about it was awesome. You were married in 75. Oh, you married just in time to go to movies. I also liked RoboCop and what was the other one? I like Universal Soldier with Van Damme. I think that also had the Dolph Lundgren in it in that one. Dolph Lundgren. Do you guys ever see that one, Time Cop? I actually like that one too. That was pretty good. Yeah, Bloodsport's good. Yep. Oh, you just watched that one? It's pretty good, isn't it? It's kind of a neat premise there. Yeah. RoboCop. I thought the movies that were a little bit more creative back then. Today they're just sort of the same thing over and over and over and over. Steven Seagal got really into, is he in Russia right now? Because he really started liking Vladimir Putin and all that shit. It was pretty strange. Capacino, or however you say it, sent me more links to check out on that case later. So I'll check them out. Thank you. I don't know. If you guys find where you think somebody called in, let me know. But the Bryan that you think, he just called in tonight. The one that you guys think the Bryan C called in. He just called in earlier because that's not him. It never was him. But if you think there's another person who called in, then let me know. But let's move on now back to the Idaho Four, because we have just completed the 2 stories. The one of Jennifer Harris and the other one of the body found inside of a donation bin in South Carolina. Pretty wild. And here we are. We're back in Moscow, Idaho. Oh yeah, Spinal Tap's great, yeah. I've watched that like 20 times. I was found in a let's see. Yeah, I don't know. We went over it. You just have to rewind the tape. It'll be in there. That doesn't even look right. Yeah, that was the California one, sorry. That's why it didn't look right. The pin was labeled wrong. It's in Lugoff is the name of the town. Well, it looks like northeast of Columbia, right? All right, here's the latest news here. You come in here and I'll cut you. Accused Idaho murder Bryan Kohberger taunts guards, exposes himself, and sings violent rap lyrics as he sits in jail waiting for extradition over deaths of Idaho students, female inmates reveal. That's pretty crazy, right? Suspected Idaho murderer Bryan Kohberger spends his days ranting and singing lyrics from violent rap songs inside the Pennsylvania jail where he's being held. And several times, the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students tried to expose himself to a female inmate who was held in a cell close to him. Now that inmate 50-year-old Valerie Kipolina has revealed exclusively to DailyMail.com how Kohberger taunted guards, saying they were too scared to go in his cell. "I cut them. I'll cut you," Kohberger yelled repeatedly, said Kipolina, who was held at the Monroe County Jail for 6 hours on New Year's Eve, domestic violence charge. "You come in here and I'll cut you," Kohberger allegedly yelled at one guard. "I'm going to pee on your face. Do what you want with me. I don't give a shit," he said. Jesus.
And when we came in, it was like total lockdown. Like nobody could be out.
Just listen.
Or in, while he was in the cell. Like if he came out, we were in lockdown. He's singing songs that are violent.
Like what? What songs?
Okay, so, like, I'm gonna cut you up. There's one called Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny, I'm gonna cut you up, motherfucker. I'm gonna pee on you, and I'll pee on your face. So that's usually by Bad Bunny or Snoop Dogg. My cell was on the right. If I went out and looked to the right.
By the way, I don't remember the timing, but the animal killings, I don't think he fits because he didn't get there till August. I don't know when the animal killings were, but I think it just kind of rule those out.
He was right on the right side, so I saw him clearly.
And he was sitting in a cell?
No, he wasn't sitting. He was standing by the door, but you could still see him.
Oh, the plastic glass.
Yeah, yes.
So how far away were you from him?
If I was here, literally, maybe where this line is right here. He said, do what you want with me. I don't give a motherfucker. You ain't gonna do nothing to me because I'm gonna cut all you up. Those were the words, and he just kept repeating songs that were very violent. And then pulling his shirt up and his pants down.
Exposing himself or just his underwear?
No, exposing everything, his top and bottom.
His genitalia?
Yes.
I found out Friday after Kohberger's arrest. I actually saw somebody mention Dr. Ramslin on Twitter, and then I realized, there was a connection there through DeSales University.
Actually, it was found on October 21st, so he wasn't in
my
the town.
stomach churned, and
Yeah.
I literally physically got ill.
It was before the murders, but it was
PTSD. I've been
October
pretty invested
21st.
in the Idaho case. I've been keeping up with the news and the true crime.
Yeah. Oh well, I guess that adds him back into possibility doing that. Then I guess. I mean, I don't think he did that. Doesn't make sense to me, but. Kipolina was in a cell catty corner from Kohberger in the Monroe County Jail in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. She could see his upper body clearly through the glass, although his lower body was hidden from her. He was wearing a regular orange prison jumpsuit, and not the anti-suicide turtleneck or the turtle suit he had on when his mugshot was taken on Friday. At first, she said, she didn't realize who he was, but then heard jail employees discussing him, and another inmate told her, "That's the guy who killed those college students." Kipolina described him as tall, skinny, and young-looking. Well, there's people that are putting out this video from the memorial service of this one guy walking by, and I don't think that looks like him at all. I'm not saying it's not him, but he looks like he's way too tall, and he just doesn't seem like him. But it's going around as if it's true, Kipolina described him as tall, skinny, and young-looking. She said he repeatedly lifted his shirt, and she heard the guard tell him several times to put his pants back on. He's trying to maybe make himself seem crazy at this point. She believed he was trying to expose himself to her. I couldn't see his genitals because the glass wall only went down so far. Cipollino, who lives in Garnville, New York, was arrested shortly after 3 a.m. on New Year's Day in a hotel in Paradise Township, Pennsylvania, after getting in a fight with her boyfriend. She was booked at... Who cares about her, though? I mean, she said being in jail for nearly 6 hours over New Year's was a miserable experience, but it was made far worse by Kohberger's constant ranting. I could see him through the polycarbonate glass window in his jail cell. He was standing upright against it, yelling out violent rap lyrics. At one point he yelled, "F my enemies and foes," a line from Lil Wayne, Multiple Flows. He also sang violent and misogynistic lyrics from Bad Bunny songs, she said. He then screamed at the top of his lungs, "Come in, all of you. You scared of me. You should be scared of me. You're going to do nothing to me because I'm going to cut all of you up," he allegedly ranted. "Come into this cell and I'll show you I'm a creeper. Come in this cell and I'll cut you up too." I mean, do you think is it possible this lady's just making this up? I don't know. Sort of doesn't really fit how you picture him, does it? All four died in their beds in their home in Moscow. A Rambo-style knife was used. The murder, the first in Moscow. Or he could be setting the stage for insanity. Don't really know. No, he said it was fake. Yeah, I was just wondering myself. It sounds a little like way more than this guy would be doing. I mean, she's claiming it, you know. There's a video of her talking about it, but it could be totally bogus. So, yeah. Well, it is Daily Mail. They're like 80% accurate, so. There goes my stomach. Yeah, doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? Thanks, Mag. Okay. Yeah, so there's this story here too. Idaho murder suspect Bryan Kohberger stopped by police twice on the 2,500-mile road trip with dad before arrest.
Lifts shirt and pulls pants down, yet he's in a jumpsuit. How does that work?
I don't know. How does it work? Alright. A criminology student accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students was stopped by police twice as he and his father made a 2,500-mile cross-country trip from Washington State to Pennsylvania in the vehicle that has been at the center of the murder mystery probe, it has been revealed. Suspected killer Bryan Kohberger, 28, drove from Pullman, Washington to his home state of Pennsylvania last month to celebrate the holidays with his family. On Friday, police swooped in on the family home in Chestnut Hill, Township, Monroe County, and arrested him for the 13th of November murders of Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin in Moscow, Idaho. As a criminal justice PhD student at Washington State University, just across the Idaho-Washington border from Moscow, Mr. Kohberger lives just 15 minutes from the King Road home where the murders took place. In the aftermath of the murders, he had stayed in Pullman, Washington, and continued with his studies for several weeks before setting off on the 2,500-mile drive to Pennsylvania sometime in December. So that means after the killing, he drove back home. But it makes you wonder why he was heading east on Highway 8. Was he discarding the weapon at that point somewhere in some weird place, and then he drives back home and wouldn't have a weapon on him at that point? In the aftermath of the murders, he had stayed in Pullman. Okay. And down here it says, however, his public defender has now revealed that Mr. Kohberger did not make the journey alone. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, that's right. He communicated with BTK himself to get some good hints. Yeah, guess what? And he's been communicating with Jeffrey Dahmer's dad. He's also talking to the Green River Killer, you know. Yeah, it's turning into just craziness. We probably need to do a show where we just sit around and every single thing that we know is verifiable and true about him, we put down into like a bullet point list. Let me see. Let me see something. Hold on a second. We never kill it. We never kill it. BTK. BTK. Boop. BTK. BTK. Oh, you hear that? It said BTK like that, but it was really subtle. You wonder why that spirit couldn't have just said BTK, you know, but instead it was like BTK. I know you can hear it. BTK, boop! Yeah. Jason Labar told CNN that Mr. Kohberger's father had traveled to Washington State to meet his son before Christmas, weeks after the violent quadruple homicide, so they could make the cross-country drive together. So that means he flew there. And I remember at first it didn't seem that weird, but now when you look at it, I mean, was it really just sort of a bonding trip? Like, hey, I'll fly out there and let's go together? Because to me it seems almost intentional, at least on Bryan's part, because he knows that he was driving by himself the night of the murder. So he's going to get his dad to come out there, and now there's two people in the car. Doesn't look quite as suspicious, sort of throws off the trail a little bit. I can't really figure out completely why that happened, but this is what I guarantee you, that Bryan drove with his dad back and was going to leave that car there, and then he was going to fly back. Now I thought maybe he's scared of flying, but there'd be no reason at all. And it'd be stupid for Bryan to bring that white Elantra back to Idaho, because he knows that they're looking for that specific type of car. So he wanted to get it the hell out of there. And he was trying to make it, apparently he changed his plates to Idaho. And then it's just really, what do you guys think about that? Yeah, that's what I just said. What do you mean? Yeah. Right, so he wanted to get the car and, take the car 2,500 miles away, and then he wasn't going to bring that car back with him. And I think the dad knows that. But I'd like to know what they were talking about and what that trip was about. It seems sort of drastic to fly from Pennsylvania to Idaho to then drive back with your son in his car to go to your house instead of just him driving there. Yeah, but that's the opposite John done. So, yeah. Yeah, but sorry you had to go through that, but that doesn't seem related at all. see. Yeah, I mean, there could be a completely, like I was saying on the show the other day, a completely explainable. But what I'm wondering is, what was the genesis of the father's, what he believed? Was it Bryan saying, "Hey, Dad, why don't you fly out here? You know, it'd be really cool. We don't talk much. Why don't you come out here? We'll drive back together." You know, something like that. And then he said, "Yeah, that'd be great." Like, was it his idea? Whose idea was it for the father to fly out there and then drive back together? I think that's significant. If it's the father's idea, then it means absolutely nothing. It's just, yeah, that'd be great. But if it's his, then he did that on purpose. He didn't want to be alone, and maybe sometimes he could have his dad driving, and yeah, see, then his dad would be driving, and if they ever got pulled over, the person would just be like, "Oh yeah, no, this guy's like 50-something years old. He's not the guy." Okay, so it's Ben Plant. Who said that? The lawyer? Maybe it says it in this article. Who knows? The father and son traveled in the suspect's white Hyundai Elantra, the vehicle that has been at the center of the murder investigation for several weeks. They were pulled over by police twice as they passed through Indiana. Mr. Labar told KTVB. Labar said he wasn't sure if the stops resulted in citations, but said one was for speeding and the other was for following a car ahead too close. Yeah, so they're kind of similar tickets. You know, you're sort of in a hurry, you're pressing up on other cars. Sometime during the journey east, investigators began tracking Mr. Kohberger's movements across the U.S. Oh, that's interesting. So they were aware of him while he was on the move. Sometime right before Christmas, we were zeroing in on him being in or going to Pennsylvania. Two separate witnesses also recalled seeing the two men at an auto repair shop in Pennsylvania on the 16th of December when the pair stopped off to get a Hyundai Elantra serviced. One individual who did not want to be identified told CNN, "Thank you, Holly Reagan." Two separate witnesses also recalled seeing the two men at an auto repair shop in Pennsylvania on December 16th when the pair stopped off to get the Hyundai Elantra service. One individual who did not want to be identified told CNN that they had a friendly conversation with both Mr. Kohberger and his father at the business. During that encounter, the suspect appeared a little awkward, but did not appear suspicious, they said, adding that he had... I wonder if he would have appeared awkward had you not known that he was a murderer, though. That's the thing. Adding that he had spoken of his ambitions to work in behavioral criminal justice and become a professor. Mr. Labar said that the father and son then arrived at their family home in the Pocono Mountains around December 17th. An FBI team, so if that's the 17th, man, they were onto him a long time ago. An FBI team kept Kohberger under surveillance in the area for several days before his arrest on Friday the 30th. But they were following him on his trip across on the 17th? So that means they were aware of him way before we heard about that. I mean, not just 4 days. The white Elantra driven by Mr. Kohberger was seized from his parents' home at the time of his arrest. Investigators have been searching since early December for the occupant of a white 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra, which has been spotted in the immediate area of the crime scene. The vehicle had been captured on surveillance footage near the King Road home at around 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. on the 13th of November. Two law enforcement sources told CNN that the net closed in on Mr. Kohberger when the Elantra seen near the crime scene was traced back to him. How was the Elantra traced back to him? You mean his DNA led to a person who had an Elantra? Welcome, Susan Smith. And yes, you guys, like I say, I'll just say it for anybody else that got here. But on this channel, every night, the freaks support the channel with super chats, PayPal, channel memberships, and everything. Helps allow me to justify doing the shows every single night, 3 to 4 hours, with the call-ins, dealing with all the wacko trolls that like to call in. And then, because my thing is I try to give away as much as I can reasonably to the charities, because that's what I want to do out of the money that I bring in. And that's how we were able to do $62,000 last year to great organizations like RAIN, Texas EquiSearch, NCMEC. Those are the main three. Innocence Project, Libby Abbey Ballpark, and then we also have $27,000 into the DNA fund. And that is pretty much how the channel works. And to maintain, I know what it takes to maintain it. So even though I loathe ever having to bring up, hey everybody, don't forget to help support the channel with super chats and so forth, I can't stand saying it because I don't want to. But the problem is if you mention it, it seems to work. People literally go, oh yeah, that's right, Okay, but sometimes if you don't talk about it, you don't mention it, it's like, I don't know. I just don't like to do it, It's not fun, doesn't feel good or anything like that. But unfortunately, there's nights where you have to bring it up. Right? Excellent. Right, DNA was then matched. Okay, two law enforcement sources told CNN that the net closed in on Mr. Kohberger when the Elantra seen near the crime scene was traced back to him. His DNA was then matched through genetic genealogy techniques to DNA found at the crime scene, the sources said. Investigators have not suggested that Mr. Kohberger's family are implicated in the murder in any way. The murders. Thank you, Ozzy Trisha. G'day, mate. Wait. G'day, mate. That's better. And if you watched the show last night and 3 weeks ago and a month ago, we talked about how they should use forensic genetic genealogy right off the bat. Literally from the get-go. And now I think that they had this guy's name. See, here's what I think. I don't think it led directly to his name right off the bat. I think it led to a family, and they were able to say, oh, wow, look at this. One of the sons goes to Washington State University, and look at one of the family owners owns a white Elantra, and they were already on that guy. And then, since then, they've probably been able to get a sample of his DNA and match it directly to the sample they have that they got from the crime scene. I would bet you anything that's how it went. They could have had the name too. Thanks, Rhonda Mack. Moscow Police Chief James Fry indicated in Friday's press conference that Mr. Kohberger is the sole suspect in the killing and that police are not seeking anyone else in the case. On Sunday, Mr. Kohberger's parents broke their silence, saying that they care deeply for the victims and their families, but will continue to support their son and brother as the legal process moves forward. First and foremost, we care deeply for the 4 families who have lost their precious children. There are no words that can adequately express the sadness we feel, and we pray each day for them. We will continue to let the legal process unfold, and as a family, we will love and support our son and brother. We have fully cooperated with law enforcement agencies in an attempt to seek the truth and promote his presumption of innocence rather than judge unknown facts and make erroneous assumptions. We respect privacy in this matter as our family and the family suffering loss can move forward. I think that's from yesterday. No obvious link has been found between the victims and the suspected killer, and it's unclear if he knew any of the 4 students prior to the murders. See? We don't know. You know, the funny thing is you have Steve Goncalves saying that. Like, oh yeah, we're finding some connections, but that doesn't sound like that's what they're saying. While there, he studied under renowned forensic psychologist Catherine Ramsland, who interviewed the BTK serial killer. Therefore, he communicated with the BTK serial killer. He probably got all of his moves from him. Oh, wait, that's just speculation. Never mind. And co-wrote the book, Confession of a Serial Killer, The Untold Story of Dennis Radar, the BTK killer. He also carried out a research project to understand how emotions and psychological traits influence decision-making when committing a crime. He reached out for participants on Reddit. And guess what? See, this whole Reddit thing, why are people still talking about it now? Do you guys remember last night where the professor literally said that that questionnaire was typical and she helped make the damn thing, right? And people are still, yeah, I don't know, man. He's like, you know, I think he just wanted to do it on his own. And she said it. In particular, this study seeks to understand the story behind your most recent criminal offense with an emphasis on your thoughts and feelings throughout your experience. Yeah, last night they literally said, I mean, in that article, that teacher said that she recommended him for doctorate, only done twice in 10 years, although that part didn't make sense since she was only 33 years old, and 23 you're not recommending people for doctorate programs. Well, thank you, Holly Reagan. Oh yeah, so I don't know what to make of this. This is another one of those things. I thought it was interesting, so I'm going to show it. But take this with a bucket of salt, because I don't know anything if this is legit or not. Okay, but it was interesting, and it didn't sound like somebody making stuff up, even though some of it wasn't right. But it says, I found out some pretty neat information from my brother, U.S. Marshal Federal Agent, tonight about the DNA recovery that took place on this. There was blood residue found in the upstairs bathroom drain. Within the seal, they found epithelial cell skin shavings. These were tested and found to contain both the victim's skin and third unidentified party. A DNA profile was then sent to a collaborative online genealogy database. And now right here it says Ancestry, 23andMe, and MyHeritage. Well, that's bogus right there. 23andMe and MyHeritage do not participate, nor does Ancestry.com. None of this is accurate. Okay? Ancestry DNA, 23andMe, and MyHeritage do not allow law enforcement search. Okay? They don't allow law enforcement search in their databases. So I don't know if the FBI has a special deal set up with them on the side, but that doesn't sound right. It's yes, Ancestry.com is the main one, right? The big one. And then 23andMe and MyHeritage. So it's GEDmatch, and I think it's Ancestry DNA is the other one. So I don't know if that's what they're meaning. I'm pretty sure it's Ancestry DNA. Well, I don't know if it's not true, JAM. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't sound too outlandish to me. Because right here, then it said, I also explained to you, Jam, you idiot, that you'll take this with a grain of salt. I don't know. I can't verify anybody that's on here. But I'm just reading it because it sounded sort of legitimate, other than that isn't. Those aren't the genealogy websites that do ancestry, genetic genealogy research. I know, I don't believe most of it either. That's why I'm saying that. But it says Ancestry, it says, who narrowed down the sample to being closely familiar to within one generation of a single family tree and gave them a list of just under 70 potential people. This would also appear to confirm the speculation many of us had that the killer spent time cleaning himself up afterwards and will prove to be quite the valuable piece of evidence against him. Yeah, so whether that's true or not, I don't know. It doesn't sound too crazy to go, oh yeah, maybe. The whole sync thing, I don't know about that. But do you guys think he cleaned himself up in the house before he left? To me, it seems... Well, let me ask you this. Would you clean yourself up in the house and then peel away in a car? Let me ask you that. Well, let me do a poll instead. Hold on. Okay, just... did the killer... Quit answering the question. I'm going to do a poll, okay? My God, you guys. All right, there we go. But you guys, right now we're having, this is one of the worst nights in about 20, so. Let's see, 23andMe has a page on their website that they do. I don't know, Norweg. I haven't heard that. That'd be something brand new. Ray, do you think he might confess to the police? Well, I mean, when you say, do you think he might? Sure, he might, Yeah. So let me ask you this, then we're done with that poll. So 220 people answered, 58% said no, all right? So does this make sense to you? I'm going to do this poll now. Would someone take the time to wash their hands, or wash up, then speed away in a car? Okay, so now you can do that one. Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to delete like a comment when he says he has killed before. I would just go, how do you know? Melinda Moda Maiden.
Just got here. Ocean wave. Ocean wave.
Thank
Ocean
you.
Wave.
That's right. Let's do a wave. Or do I have to be? Am I gonna need to be so mean? Thank you, Garden Girl. Right. So, how is there anybody answering yes to the question that I just asked? Would someone take the time to wash up and then speed away in a car? And you say yes? I mean, how does that come up with that? That makes no sense at all. That's ridiculous. You're going to sit there in the house and spend time cleaning up, and then you're going to get in the car and you're going to speed away. He ran out. Ethan was a complication. Yeah. Ethan wasn't supposed to be there. I think there was noise created, and he likely got the hell out of there really quick. So if he went in to wash himself up, he's taking time. So he's not in a hurry then. Thanks, Tammy Kerwood. Thanks, Tammy Kerwood and Garden Girl. Yeah, don't really know, John. So, yeah. That's your opinion, sure. They didn't get the DNA from the car. That's not how he was arrested. He was arrested because there was DNA at the crime scene, and he was found on a genetic genealogy research, and then that led to him. In the woods, there isn't really woods, okay? It's 10 feet of trees. I mean, it's nothing. No, there wasn't, Grandma Rocks. This was at 3:45. That was at 3. So no, that doesn't make sense. And why would he speed away from a cop? It's ludicrous. So, all right. What if he was interrupted cleaning up Ethan? Huh? Cleaning up by Ethan and killed them in the hallway. Yeah, that's sort of interesting. That one's kind of interesting. I mean, he goes up and kills Kaylee and Madison, and that's all he was going to do. And then he was... I don't know. Wouldn't he use the bathroom upstairs? Just like that post said, because that's up there by itself, and you killed both the people that live up there. The other bathroom would be on the first floor between the two surviving roommates, if those were both their rooms. And by the way, there was this guy on a video today he goes, yeah, I used to live there one time, and he was completely wrong. He said that none of the roommates living on the first floor live below any of the rooms where the killings happen. And that's completely bogus. He explained it wrong. He was like, yeah, no, the bedrooms are over. Xana's room is absolutely directly above one of the first floor non-murdered roommates, if that one lived in that room. Same footprint and everything. It's right there. Thanks, Paul Hallett. Maybe he washed off his car in the woods, and that's where they found the DNA of his dad.
I'll get you back if you want me to.
What do you mean?
Maybe he washed off in his car in the woods, and that's where they found the DNA of his dad.
I don't understand that, Paul. Maybe he washed off his car in the woods, and that's where they found the DNA of his dad? No, they drove the car all the way back home. Oh, you're just pulling... Okay. That was pretty good, Paul. Come on, you got to have a little smiley face on there or something. Maybe. Yeah. Well, that was pretty good because it made 0 sense, but I was trying to be That's pretty good. Imagine the callousness to sit in class after that. Yeah. It's wild, isn't it? He goes back to class and continues on. And remember, the students said that he would get really quiet when they talked about that. Of course, now they remember it that way. They didn't think twice of it at the time. You know what's interesting is, didn't any of the students know that Bryan drove a white Elantra? I mean, didn't anybody think, my grad teacher in criminology has a white Elantra. And if they were so keen on noticing how he clammed up during the conversations, wouldn't they have thought of that at the time? No. Man, you guys like Paul, Hallett, and the other ones, you guys are getting too good at your dry humor. It's like it's almost undetectable. All right. So let's just switch the topic here. I'll type in these questions here. These are ones that I came up with earlier. Wait, let me get rid of this one. So for some reason, 43% of you think it's totally normal to spend time washing up, probably even using scented candles, and then speeding away to draw attention to himself. Yeah. Wow. All right, here we go. Did Bryan Kohberger communicate with any of the victims in person or online prior to the murders? There you go. There you go. There's the next question. I just can't believe people think that somebody who's in that big of a hurry, trying to get the hell out of there really quick, is going to take the time to clean themselves, to then just get in their car and peel out. I mean, yeah, not so much. Yeah, well, that's one of the things I was wondering. People think that maybe, they're trying to make this loose. Well, they're trying to pretend it's a strong vegetarian connection to the Mad Greek restaurant, and that means absolutely it's not a vegetarian restaurant. Okay, you can order a vegetarian dish or two there, right? Like you can have vegetarian options, but it's not like it's known that's what it is. Okay. And yes, it's possible that he went in to the restaurant and made a connection to them. We don't know. Whatever, vegan, vegetarian, I don't really give a shit. It does, to me, it's the same thing. All right, anyways, here we go. He'll use Sandy wipes. Yeah. It's not a vegan restaurant. It's not any of those things. It's just like you can type it in. Hey, do they have a vegetarian menu there, or a vegan, whatever the hell you want to call it? Man, what are you talking about, Charleston Amy? I was hoping for a maybe option. No. Yeah. I do what I want to put on there, Kimberly, not what you want. But I'll be sure to, whenever I do a poll, I'll wait to see how you want me to write it. Yeah, I'll do that next time. Let's see, what type of communication you... so, here's what I'll put on here. Hey, thanks, Ivan Victor. Uh-oh, I got thrown in prison. Oh, boy. So mean. And I'm already at -5, so this is going to take a while, I think.
Gray, you're so mean.
Yep, that's what they say, man. That's what they say. He'd probably buy a cheap hotel room after killing. Yeah, you think so? Yeah, I don't know, man. Wow.
He'd probably buy cheap hotel room after killing.
Yeah, Sack and Fox Annie, you're supposed to throw me in here.
Dead serious.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be interesting if that's what he did. Man, I have all these other questions to ask. Oh well. Guess we won't get to those. So the answer to this poll up here, did Bryan Kohberger communicate? 79% said yes. Up, and then we're at even with deer feeder.
For boxes with the opening in the back.
That's not very nice, deer feeder. Charleston Amy got me a what do you call it? A skeleton key inside a piece of cake. That's about it. Yeah, well, we'll get those certainties, but let's see what comes out on the probable cause. I'm sure it's going to be out pretty soon. Tomorrow they're going to have a court hearing.
So mean again. GEE.
But I'm not sure if it's playing by a site that will be, you know, you can play freely. Like if it's on WFLA, you can't just stream their live stream, okay? That's just the way it is. You can't do that. So I don't know how to play it. There'll be people that'll do it, but I'm not willing to do it. I'm not willing to risk having, you know. There's a channel out there that during the Brian Laundrie case live streamed WFLA every single day for hours. And it was like, what gives you the right to think that you can do that? I mean,
Ramen.
did I get bailed out, you think? Look at that. Ivan came up with a joke, man. He said, here it is.
What do you get when you cross elephant and rhino? Hell if I know.
There you go. But it should be, what do you get when you cross an elephant and a rhino? Elephino. You don't pronounce the H part of it. Hey, thank you, Loretta Reyes. The bond, I think we're almost at the bond amount here. Oh, you mean for him? I don't know. Probably 0. He won't have bond. He's not going to have bond. Oh, for me? I think I'm out of there. Thank you guys for getting me the hell out of there. Hell if I know. Alright, let's see. What's the next? Alright. So I'm going to ask this question with different options now. Here we go.
Buy a couple gel toothbrushes to make into shanks.
There we go. What was that last one? Welcome, Kevin Schultz. Gummo said, buy a couple jail toothbrushes to make into shanks. Okay, we'll get right on that one. See, I think it's more likely that Kaylee was communicating with, or either Madison or Kaylee, who knows, one of the people there communicated with Bryan via a social media site or something. And by the way, I tried to look up that trend stuff, and it just doesn't really make sense to me. The Google Trends. Because you could type in anybody's name and then go to any place, and there it is. So there's something wrong with that. I think you have to have a paid account to get the real data. What's hard about it? G'day. Doggy treats.
Doggy treats. Winking face.
I'm waiting for you guys to answer the one up above. So it says most people think it's social media. Well, I know, I got rid of the poll, but yeah. Okay, I'm going to end this poll now. If you can't answer that quick, then you probably shouldn't be on YouTube. Alright, so I'm ending that one. It was getting too slow for me. I think it was at 60% of the people thought that... Oh, see, it shows up on this other screen. It says, what type of communication did he use? Social media, 60%. In-person, 39%. The poll question from before was, did Bryan Kohberger communicate with any of the victims in person or online prior to the murders? It said yes, 79%. So that means out of the people who believed yes, 60% of those think it was social media and 39% think it was in person. So I think most people then think that yes, they communicated, and yes, it was social media. Doesn't mean that's what you think. It means most people think that. Okay, so don't go, Gray, I didn't think that though. I was one of the... I don't care. Do you understand? Yeah, it's just a question. All right. So these are the ones, these are just questions here, but I'll put this up here. Well, it's, why did Bryan's father need to fly to Wazoo to drive back with him? So let me just do the poll here. And what I'll put in bonding moment, some other reason. All right. So that's it. I mean, it's just kind of, why did Bryan's father need to fly to Wazoo to drive back with him? So it's bonding, some other reason. Oh, come on, KK. Yeah, that whole story was bogus. Everyone said it was Jack was kicked from the bar, and then he wasn't even kicked from the bar, so that means nobody was kicked from the bar, doesn't it? They just said it was Jack to make it a story. What's not working, Tammy? I know, John, that's what you think because of your personal experience, but, you know, doesn't make sense. Your story is way different than this one. It could have been that he wanted to be with his dad because he was feeling a little nervous about what he did. And it could also be that he was, he wanted his dad to be with him on the drive because it wouldn't be this young white male that fits the profile driving a white Elantra across country. It's this older guy driving his son. See? I wonder if he even told his dad, hey, Dad, if we ever get pulled over, will you just say that it's your car and I'm driving with you? All right, so a lot of people think it's not just a bonding moment. That 75% think it's something else. All right, let's do another poll here. I'm going to end that one. And I'm done reading them before I put them out. Now, if the trip was planned a long time ago, before the murders, it's probably a moot point unless he knew what he's going to be doing. I mean, it's hard to say. But anyways, here we go. Here's another poll question. How did that trip come about? Oh, we got somebody on hold here again. 445. Hello. Are you still on from before? Oh, oops. I think that was the same. I don't know if that was Joey or who that was. But. Well, you don't know, but just take a guess. You know, like what do you feel more likely? Oh, come on. How have I convinced you that it was not bonding? I don't mind if you think it's that way, John. I just think you have this really, you know, heart-touching moment that you had, but I'm not saying that that's what this is right here. You guys, you have to admit it's a little odd, and I want to know whose idea it was. I didn't think it was that odd at the beginning. I thought, well, God, I mean, geez, that's not that weird. His dad could have just been... But when you sit there and you just sort of think about it, that he flies there to merely drive all the way back again with his kid, when the kid Brian had obviously driven there alone to get there. But maybe Brian told him, hey, there's some really cool sights, you got to see it. Give us a chance to talk again. And maybe he knew that the police were onto him and they're going to catch him at some point because he knew that he left his DNA at the scene. And maybe, yes, he wanted to spend some time with his dad, maybe a little bit like Brian Laundrie, how he drove home, went home for about a week to see his family again, knowing that he was going to take his own life a little bit later. I know that he flew there. We said that. Retro. We said that 5,000 times already. Yeah. But Brian had driven there before. So his dad wouldn't have needed to go there to give him a ride back in case he wasn't used to doing it or something. Whew. Wow. It's weird the crap you have to explain to people. Yeah, I know. You keep saying that, Ash. Yeah. I do, though. So. It's become more odd when you think about it I think he is the one. The reason it's odd to me is the same reason that I think he's the one that did it. I think Bryan is the one that convinced his dad to come out there because he needed to do some sort of a cover on that drive back, in my opinion. It doesn't matter if you're a parent or not. It has nothing to do with anything that we're talking about here. Now, that wouldn't be, Robert. That isn't Occam's razor whatsoever at all. Occam's razors, in this case, that event is sort of thrown out the window given what happened. Because now we don't know how it came about. Well, it's not, though, Dan. He called in earlier. That would be strange, though, wouldn't it? People always do well, I'm a parent, therefore I really have the handle on the situation better than everybody else. I think that makes you biased. It's just just a random look at it, where you go, Now, if they had planned it, then sure, it's totally meaningless, but I'd still want to know who planned it. Who's the one that initiated the conversation about him going there? Because don't you think it's pretty convenient that his dad goes over there and now there's this 2 adult males driving an Elantra? And man, wouldn't that be weird if he was talking about, well, did you arrest anybody else, thinking that maybe his dad got busted too because he was in the car, or maybe the DNA confusion. Thanks, Ivan Victor. Yeah, you hear that a lot in cases like, when they say, oh man, I'd never let my kid walk on a bridge like that. And then you say, well, what do you mean? It was a safe place. Well, are you a parent, Gray? Well, let me just tell you that okay, forget it. Conversation's over.
Parent rationale is my favorite heron, and I have monsters.
Yeah, see, that's one of the things too. You know that his dad heard about the murders, right? He probably even talked to his kid about the murders on the phone because it's right there near him. And guess what? His son is studying criminology. His father might even have asked, "Wow, what do you think happened, son? This is right up your alley." All the while, he's the one that is the killer. Wouldn't that be crazy? Because my dad talks to me about true crime every time I go over there now. Hey, Gray, did you hear about that one case where because I do true crime YouTube, right? So you've got his son is in a criminology doctorate program, knowing that that's really the most interesting thing to his son. So, of course, then all of a sudden there's this huge murder case that happens just 10 miles away from his son. Obviously, they got on the phone and they talked about it, right? I mean, you would think that's what would have happened. It very possibly might not have happened at all, but doesn't that seem likely that the dad would have talked to his son about that case? One of the biggest cases in the country, or the biggest case in the country currently, and he is living right there, and he's in a study that would give him, perhaps a perspective that would be interesting to talk about. I don't think why'd you laugh before that question, though, Jamie? I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what the answer to that is. It's possible. I mean, it's similar in a way, if you think about it, it could be similar to the Brian Laundrie thing where he drove all the way home. Remember how he drove thousands of miles home? And, he didn't tell them he did anything. in that case. I don't know. I don't know. Just that aspect is similar. Not the killings are totally different MO, everything about it. But all right, let's do a poll on that. Let me end this one. So this was, how did the trip come about? 66 think it's Brian's idea. Okay, good. So, I mean, not good. I just mean that means most people think it was his idea and therefore likely part of covering up what he did. Wait, I forgot what I was just about to ask. Shit. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Did, okay, there you go. Do you think Brian's father asked him about the case before or perhaps during the drive home? Yeah, well, we don't know if he did what he did, Tammy, do we? That's your opinion, but we don't know what he did at this point, right? It's possible that during that long drive home he explained what he did, and his dad was kind of like, oh man. Right. Okay, but word things, when you type it in as an opinion, because that's one of the things when people type in stuff like jam up there, the dad knew. Okay, well you don't know that, right? I mean, oh. 445, you're on. Oh, you're back in again, huh? What's going on?
Yeah, I was just calling again. Yeah, I just wanted to ask you about the Idaho Four guy, the guy Bryan Kohberger or whatever. Now, he's waiving his extradition, right? So when he goes in front of the Pennsylvania judge tomorrow, can they get him to Idaho as soon as possible?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, good. I think because he wants to prove his innocence. And another thing, he reminds me of Ted Bundy. I think he's going to want to be involved in his case and stuff like that with his public defender or lawyer. I don't know if his family has money and they're going to be able to hire him a lawyer.
Yeah, wouldn't that be weird if he decided to be his own lawyer, just like Bundy?
Yeah, but he's not a lawyer though. Don't you got to be a lawyer to? Oh no, you can defend yourself. I wouldn't be shocked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But this is a slam dunk. His DNA's in there. His
and then
DNA.
They're going to get finally we get the probable cause probably shortly after he gets back.
Yeah, shortly after, and you'll put that up on your channel, right? You'll do a show on that.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's hard to get it. I don't know how to get these people when they get them, they're so.
Do you have to pay for that stuff?
Well, sometimes, but
you'll
get these channels that'll get it. You'll get these. Jesus, they're going to get these channels that are going to. They'll get it and they'll put their watermark on it and they won't share it and stuff like that. So it's hard to get.
Oh yeah, with the. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sometimes they're expensive, sometimes they're not.
Yeah, with the murder sheet, they still put the watermarks on there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, that was the only question I had, because the guy has said he wants to get extradited as soon as possible because he wants to prove his innocence, and he has the right to a speedy trial. So
I think he'll be back in Idaho on late night Wednesday tomorrow, or well, tomorrow is what, Tuesday? I don't even know what day it is. Today Monday?
Yeah, today's Monday. Yeah,
oh, yeah.
Tomorrow
So probably
will be Tuesday.
Wednesday morning, probably something like that.
Yeah, then as soon as he goes in front of a judge, that's when they can unseal the probable cause, right?
Yeah, I think he has to be presented with it.
Yeah. Well, I'm really interested in seeing that. They're not going to put everything in there just like the Delphi case because we still don't know everything they got on Richard Allen anyway. But even his DNA, that's enough. Because if he was never in that house, how can he explain his DNA in there? This guy's going to jail.
So Brian, listen. So you're gonna be your own lawyer then, huh? That's gonna be amazing.
No,
I mean, it's weird how they let you call in, though. It's crazy how they let you call into the show. I don't hear that little machine that goes, you've got 2 minutes left on your call.
Yeah, 2 minutes left. Yeah, actually, I snuck in my cell phone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, when I listened to the replay of the New Year's Eve show and I heard them saying, like, Bryan C, and you said, Bryan C, call in, stop the rumor mill.
Yeah, right.
I was laughing. That was funny.
Yeah, well, it's weird how people, you were from Pennsylvania and your name's Brian, but I said there's probably like a 500,000 Brians that live in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and I'm Brian with an I, not
right.
Brian with a Y.
Right, but we don't know that. We only heard it. Okay, and you're only telling us it's an I, and we don't know if and it's Bryan C, and that's his middle name. Oh my God, everybody!
Oh gosh, I could be on Reddit right now.
Oh, you'll be on Reddit tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely. And they're a bunch of troll. I think if you watch Reddit, you're an asshole, in my opinion. Like, them dudes are schmucks.
Yeah. So, anyways.
Well, I'm just so happy. Like I said, I love your channel. I love how you do cold cases and stuff. And actually, I have a cold case. So I'm going to email you a cold case, and if you'll look through it and do it for me, I would greatly appreciate it.
Okay, cool.
And you said you just want the year, the name, and that's it. And you like to do your own research,
yeah,
right?
I like to have all the links. I can't.
Oh yeah. So
I won't even do one if somebody sends me a cold case with 10 links and their whole theory. I won't even touch the case.
I'm just gonna have one. I'm just gonna have one sentence: the year, the name, and the murder. Then you can do your research on it. Mm-hmm. And I think with the Google Maps, Gray, if you do that case, I think this case has a chance to be solved.
Okay, well, we'll see.
So wait, can I find your email on your YouTube channel, or what is it? grayhughes@gmail.com?
No, it's grayhuze2@gmail.com.
Okay, I got it. Yeah, actually, I wrote it down before. Okay, I got that. All right, I'll email that case. I'm going to watch the rest of your show, let you get to the other callers. And like I said, every time I watch your show, I like it more. I just like how you do the cold cases.
All right,
like I said, you're not greedy. You donate money to charity. You and the freaks. Like I said, you're doing good things.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, appreciate it.
Keep it up. And like I said, you're at 100K subs. By the end of next year, you could be at 200K. Great, because like I said, you have the best true crime channel on YouTube. Hands down. Nobody even comes close.
All right. Well, I appreciate it.
But everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Well, I'll let you go. Like I said, have a great night, and I'll call in maybe in a couple of days.
Okay, thanks. Have a good one.
All right, have a good night. Bye-bye.
See that? It's not the Brian from Pennsylvania, the murderer, okay? Yeah. I think somebody said, you're so glad he's not the killer. Come on, Cindy. If so many of you guys thought that, it makes me embarrassed. It's like, Jesus, are you kidding me? Anyways, let me get this one. 715.
Yes, sir. This is Ivan Victor. How are you today?
What's going on, Ivan?
Well, I have theory about what you are talking about as far as ride home and father, and just want to say hello to Freaks, hello to you, and I hope everybody's new year is off to a fabulous beginning. So, this is all I have, and you can tell me what you think of it. I think in the course of his, actions, Mr. Bryan call his father and tell him he needs to come out there. And in the course of that, as being a father, maybe being curious, maybe having some other inclination that his son doesn't ordinarily do this, because he seemed to be an analytic person, not much to act on emotion and such. So if he tells father, you need to come out here, you have to come out here, such and such. And so father acquiesced. And so I think on ride home, Bryan spilled guts. And so to all the people, I have to be honest. There is nothing, and people can judge me all they wish for this. There is nothing my son could tell me that he did that I would not stand by him. Nothing. Now, I may not support him. I may not say that it's a good idea or a good thing. But if my family, especially my children, come to me and say, Father, this is what I do. This is what happened. I need your help. I'm not going to judge the father for that. Like, people can have their own moral standard. People can have their own, lines in the sand, so to speak.
Well, do you think you would have been able to sleep well at night, though, with somebody that killed 4 people?
I don't necessarily know. I have to believe that every father and every parent would want to believe that however this terrible event happened, my first inclination would somehow try to justify it, even if it was far-fetched, even if it made no sense. What I would want to do is somehow protect my son. I would not have any interest in what anybody else was feeling. I would think there's some reason he did this. Maybe it would make no sense. Maybe it wouldn't even be rationale. But my first inclination would be to help my son.
Right.
That's all I can think of. And so, I know not every parent probably feel that way, and I may know.
Why do you think Bryan called him to get him out there? Just to have that last ride with his dad, or was it to be sort of a cover on the drive home?
It could be a variation of both. I don't think it's going to be pure one way or another. It probably has both. It probably has both well-intended reasons, and it probably has selfish reasons, like lots of our decisions are. Very rarely are they just purely black and white for good purpose or for negative. And so I think he probably had a mixed bag of emotions. He just committed the worst heinous act any person could possibly do. And I'm not trying to add human to him. I'm not trying to rationale him. I'm just trying to think of how it probably happened. And so unless we just think he's totally Michael Myers, no emotion, blank to the wall person, I think he probably had a mixed bag of reaction. That's all.
Well, there you go.
So anyway.
Well, appreciate it.
Good show tonight. You Mr. Other Freaks. Come on, Other Freaks. I know that everybody has less than they did last year, but I do not want to have any other of this nonsense like, oh, last month was just especially good. No, we need to continue a trend, and we need to push into 2023. Come on, freaks. All right. I'll talk to you later.
Well, thanks, Ivan.
Yes, sir.
Get my good box together. Yeah, I'm going to need it.
Don't worry. Hey, I was going to tell you. It probably the end of month, between 15th and 23rd of month is when I do my ship out.
Oh, really? Sweet. All right, cool. Hey, I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
All right. Have a great night, and I thank you, freaks, and I'm interested to hear the rest of the show.
All right, man. Have a good one. I don't know how long it's going to be, but have a good one. Bye. All right, call-in user 2. Usually a troll when they got the call-in user. Who is this? Hello, who's this? Well, you're muted, right? So your humor isn't going to translate over out to the show. You're muted at this point. You know that? Jesus. Oh God. Now they were just like idiot. You could probably hear it through. It was so loud in my headphones that it goes into the mic over here. Well, I knew it was going to be a troll. I mean, every time it's call-in user, it's almost always. All right, 606. Hello. Hello, who's this?
Gray?
Yep, it's me.
Oh my God, I love you so much. I really do. You're the most awesome person. Listen.
Well, who's this?
I just want to. This is Terry. I'm calling from Kentucky. I'm sick. I just had surgery this morning, so I don't feel too good.
Well, I hope it went well.
But listen, I need to tell you something. It's something I heard. It's something I heard.
Here we go.
Someone do
Not about me. Not about me.
Another. No, it's not about you. No, it wasn't about you. I promise.
So it's about the case, right?
But okay, this is what it's about.
Well, I don't want you. Don't bring up other channels or anything. Just say what you heard.
No, I won't.
Okay.
I won't. The one lady that calls in all the time, I cannot pronounce her name.
Lillian?
No, I can pronounce that.
Susanna Nicola Podrick?
That may be it with the British accent.
Well, she has like a, it's Irish. Anyways, go ahead.
Oh. Well. Okay. Are you sure that's not Cher from Voices Behind the Wall?
No, it's not. I don't think it's her. I mean, no. I mean,
okay.
She's been calling my show for years. But you just did bring up another shitty channel right here on my show. I mean, just an absolute, nonsensical channel. And you brought it up anyways. See, I think people call up shows to advertise for channels. It's really bizarre.
No, I don't like that channel.
Right, but why did you say it after I said not to do that?
We can say I'd never, but until in such moment.
You did it right away, right after that.
I promise.
So, anyways, what does that have to do with?
I didn't think if you.
Right, you just did though, Melanie. Right. So that's what I'm saying. You never heard of it, so now you have heard of it. It's just an absolute abomination during the Summerwells case, all that shit. So
I was just gonna tell you just to be careful. That's all I wanted to.
Why are you telling me to be careful from? What does it have to do with that? You mean because you thought the caller was that person?
Exactly.
But what difference would that make if it was? I mean, what was she saying that I would need to be careful about? Let's pretend that Susanna Nicola Podrick, who's in the chat right there, who's a moderator here, was actually was that person. What was she doing? Yeah, I actually don't need help with stuff like that. I get trolls calling all day long. Every time I do a show, they call. They're just the lowlifes of society, have nothing better to do. But I'm just trying to figure out what does it have to do with what you're saying. Why do I need help with that, I guess?
Well, I know you're smart, and I know you would probably know, of all people, you would know.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's the only reason, I guess.
Okay. All right. Well, that's cool. Well, I appreciate you trying. I appreciate you looking out for me. All right. But I got to get this other call.
Well,
thanks for calling in.
All
right. Yeah, just wow. All right. 920, you're on.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Nancy.
All right, what's going on?
Well, I can't believe I'm on. Okay. So I have I don't know if it's like a theory or a question.
Uh-huh.
So you know how Bryan drove to Pennsylvania with his dad?
Yeah.
Do you think that maybe he lied to his dad and said that he had already talked to the cops, or that the cops had already pulled him over because he drives a white Elantra, and that's why his dad agreed to drive with him all the way to Pennsylvania?
Well, why would his dad agree to drive with him because of that story? Like, I don't get that part.
Well, I guess his parents were probably a little bit suspicious. I mean, it'd be hard not to be. So I'm wondering if his dad maybe asked him if he had been talked to by the cops.
I don't know.
Okay. No, just wanted to share that. That's all.
I mean, I think that he may have. I mean, I just said before, we just did a poll on whether or not he talked to his son about the case because his kid's a criminologist, and the biggest murder in U.S. in the last year or two. I mean, it's a huge case, bigger than Gabby Petito for sure. I mean, it's way bigger than that. He's obviously going to talk to his son, who's a criminology major, doctorate program, a 15-minute drive from the murders. So of course they talked about it, don't you think? And then later on, when a white Elantra came out, his dad must have thought, man, my son has an Elantra. And he knows his son, so he probably knows his son's a little different over the years. So you put those in your mind and you think, his dad might have been a little suspicious of something. I think. It's possible. Just throwing it out there as a possibility. I don't know. But wouldn't you think that? I mean, just think about how that would work. You have a son that's a criminology doctorate program 15 miles from where 4 college students are murdered. He knows his son and knows maybe some of the peculiarities that he has, and that he drives an Elantra that matches the one that they're describing. You don't think that would set a couple little alarm bells off there?
Yeah, definitely.
I'm just saying it might have set alarm bells off, but it might have been completely explained.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all I had. Thank you.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you. Have a good one. All right. Bye-bye. You know what's weird is you got all these new people. Have you guys noticed that? Mag and everybody else, all these new people that show up here, and they think that I don't really have a handle on or can figure out what's going on some of these calls. It's like I've been doing this for the live shows for 4.5 years probably, with many call-in shows, and it's really simple for me. There's only been a couple times where somebody did the slow play. They pretended they were asking questions. But it's pretty strange, right? I mean, it's like you read the comments in there, and they're trying to help me out with reading the situation, and I'm not struggling with it. Okay, I can be wrong at times, but it's not very often when I'm dealing with these callers. I know exactly what I'm looking at. 785, you're on.
Hey, Craig, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you. What's going on?
Sack and Fox Nanny here.
Sack and Fox Nanny, the legend.
The one and only. I just called him to see if you needed any advice.
Yes. Now, when they call in, what is it I need to look for to be able to determine if they're going to be a troll caller or not?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
The only thing that I couldn't call in before we found out who it was, but I had figured out it was going to be an older person, but I had laryngitis. I'm still kind of getting over a cold.
Oh,
but in my head, I thought it was going to be somebody like, I reasoned out in my head that I thought maybe it was going to be like a military guy that was using his that he'd done his 4 years and was using his thing, that they give you to go to school after you served in the military.
Yeah, let me ask you something. What are you referring to right now?
Like when we found out that he was 28.
Yeah.
In my mind, I'd already made him an older person. I'd already figured that out.
Older than what?
For one thing,
he's kind of close to their age. I mean, he's not like way older. He's 28, they're 22,
Well,
it's not like he's 45 or 35 or...
No, not 40. I wasn't thinking that, but I was thinking closer to 30, just because I think with guys...
Can you be more quiet?
Okay, sorry. I think with guys, you know, men keep getting their strength up until about their 30s. I just didn't think it was a young guy, in my mind.
Mm-hmm. You didn't think it was
But I thought, it never occurred to me that it would be somebody going for a doctorate. I thought it would be maybe somebody that had started college later,
Or maybe it was just somebody that lived in the town that was sort of maybe worked at one of the establishments or something.
Yeah,
as a waiter,
something like that.
waiter or a cook, or maybe who knows? I mean, something.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm anxious for when we finally get to see what do they call that document?
The probable cause. Oh, jeez, my
the probable cause.
Probable cause document. Man, my voice just went.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see that and kind of see. I know we won't get to see all the things. I'm just hoping that with it being in Idaho, and I don't know if I'm 100% right, but I think from following the Vallow Daybell case, it seems like I remember reading that the only way you can get life in prison in Idaho is without parole is if you go for the death penalty. That if they don't go for the death penalty, that it's going to be life with parole.
Yeah.
But I don't, I'm not
it would
sure
be without parole, you mean?
No, if the only way you can get it without parole is if you're charging them, if you go under the death penalty one. So it would either be life without parole
they'll go for the death. They're
penalty.
going to go for the death penalty for sure. There's no doubt in my mind that they go for the death penalty.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't take as long as.
Well, nobody. Yeah, I don't know. My whole thing is like the death penalty. I would support it more if it was 100% accurate. But the fact that we've executed innocent people in the United States, I didn't really think about that, but we know that to be true just based off of the numbers that since DNA they've exonerated 200, I can't say hundreds. Let's say dozens and dozens of people have been exonerated from death row because of DNA information. So that means that before DNA was invented, that those same dozens and dozens of people would have been executed, claiming their innocence all the way up until they were executed. And I think that's disgusting. I mean, if you ever execute any innocent person, you should almost never do it again. It's sick. All right. So I would make it so that death penalty was really rare, and you had to have specific factual information and not just some eyewitness that saw somebody in the dark. It has to be really specific and multiple pieces of information that there is zero doubt of any factual piece of information at all that is the person, and then maybe do that. But if you have it's just ridiculous. So
right, I agree, and personally, it's not that I'm against the death penalty, but it costs so much money to do a death penalty case, and then they have all these appeals.
They're in their little private jail for 20-something years, and all the appeals, and then even the death itself costs a lot of money. I mean, it's crazy.
It's terrible. But if you have life without parole, then I think there's like maybe one or two appeals that you can have.
Well, it's also
that's
pretty expensive too, because you got to take care of them. But they're just sort of taking up a bed in a prison and eating meals and things like that. I'm actually for redoing the whole prison system where the people in the prisons have to generate their own electricity, perhaps riding bikes and doing different things like that generate the batteries that they can use for their TVs and their lights. Maybe even have like a windmill on the jail, the prison property itself, and then they learn a skill for the prisoners that are actually going to get out someday. Maybe they learn how to work on the windmills, and maybe there's a farm over there where they have to grow their own vegetables and food, and they're sort of self-sustaining. and we don't have to pay a damn thing for these idiots. Okay, so there you
Right.
go. Yeah.
It would be nice. I think that there are some states that still have what they call hard time, and so they do have to do some kind of hard labor. But because I can remember even growing up in Georgia, I can actually remember seeing chain gangs on the side of the road. Yeah, it was crazy. It was whole different.
The only
But
thing
now
that
they've got
the
so
only thing
many
that the
rides.
state should ever pay for is the salary of the employees that work there. But everything else, the electricity, maybe the ovens for cooking food, I don't know, whatever. But the electricity in the cells themselves, there should be, I have this idea where you'd have these little teams set up where you rotate around. Sometimes you're in agriculture, then you're in the electricity part, and then something else over here. But you have competitions even, like, oh yeah, man, the C block over there generated 50,000 watts this last week, and what we want is see if we can do 55,000. And then it's just kind of like this whole thing, and maybe would promote some sort of teamwork. Plus, you're paying for the electricity that you're using there. You have to generate it for your own cells to be able to watch the televisions and have some light.
Right.
I know it's kind of a fanciful idea.
I don't
but it's
disagree with you. That's for sure. I think we definitely need some kind of reform, and I wish I had the answers, but there's smarter people than me out there. Unfortunately, you're always going to have those people that say it's cruel and unusual punishment or whatever.
But see, that's what's crazy about it. It's not cruel and unusual at all. It's literally, I mean, I don't know, man. I think it actually helps them. What's more cruel and unusual is to have prisons where people just sit there and stare at the walls for 20 years, and they get out and they're expected to go get a nice job, or to find a job, not a nice job, but to find something. Why not give at least the ones that are somewhat redeemable in there, give them something to learn, and when they're done, they can maybe get hired. I mean, hell, why not teach them to become electricians or something, or like plumbing and electricians and shit. When they're done, they might even get a job where they get paid enough where they're never even considering doing a crime again. It's like
right.
Like it's amazing. We don't ever do that. We just put them back out on the street with a couple bucks, and they're right back to selling drugs, and it's just ridiculous. So I
agree. Things need to change. I just wish I knew how.
All right.
Well,
anyways,
so hello to all the freaks. Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy
New
Year.
I'll see you back in chat.
Well, yes. Well, thank you for calling in, and thanks for all that advice there. I've got
it's free. What can I say?
I've got a call-in user on hold. A call-in user is on hold. Watch out. Here we go. Yes, you didn't complain. You didn't complain about a damn thing. Thank you. All right.
Talk to you later, Greg.
All right. Have a good one. See you. Bye. Those are just my pie-in-the-sky ideas sometimes with these prisons. Anyways, let's do the call-in user 4 and a 3 and a 2 and a 1 and a 4 and a 3 and a 2. Hello, I can't hear you. Can you turn up? I can't hear you. You got to turn up the volume. Hello. Hello, are you there? Hello. Hello. Hello, are you there? Hello, are you there? Hell yeah. Yeah, it was another same troll again. Yep. Great. Let's see. Mr. Gray is so right, he doesn't know. Man, I lived it. Prison was crime school within weight room. Yeah, I mean, hell, even have the weights where you're pumping weights, it generates electricity, everything you do. My U.S. best friend called for an HVAC fixer, and it turned out to be a former inmate. Oh, well, that's pretty cool. That's very cool. Yeah, there you go, Susanna. All right, you guys. Well, I don't have much more to offer for tonight's show, but do you guys have anything else you want to talk about? I'm gonna. Let's see. Yeah, I just ended the Zoom call there. The weight pit is serious business in the joint. Yeah. It seems like there's a lot of attacks happening there. I think that's the last thing that I would allow criminals to do, is to pump iron. I mean, go ahead and ride the bikes for the electricity, but do you really want these massive, these people that just I don't know. That's the part that I always think is strange. Yeah, let's make our criminals into these super freaks. You know, these massive, and I don't mean the freaks like for the channel here. Yeah, it always seems strange to me. Yeah, we're going to put them in a prison. What we're going to do, though, is we're going to allow them to get so huge when they get out, we're going to have a hard time even arresting them again. They can all look like the Incredible Hulk. Right, but have different type of exercise, like maybe more circuit training without these, 600-pound dumbbells and shit. I mean, it's ridiculous. What's tomorrow, John? What's the big day tomorrow? Yeah, jazzercise. There you go. We'll get the old, what is it? What's her name? What's her name from Australia? What was her? The one that Let's Get Physical, that lady? Yeah, I think Farrah. Yeah, no, she had one. The one from. Who are you talking about, Mel's Diner? Yeah, Olivia Newton-John. Yeah, that one. Yeah, Olivia Newton-John had that, and then so did, I think Farrah Fawcett maybe had something. I don't know. Oh, I don't remember her dying. Yeah. Oh, well. Yeah, Denise Austin's still out there. Okay, anyways. So thank you to Cheryl Bullock, Whimsical Me, Vasserini. Wait, hold on. Let me start over again. Cheryl Bullock, Whimsical Me, Vasserini, Lisa Murphy, which became she's been a Murphy member for 8 months. Eugenie, Kathy Friedenmaker, Dawn, Cindy Leon, Kim Christian, The Mike D Experience, Licensed to Ill, Brown Eyed Girl, new member, Brown Eyed Girl, Jamie, Lisa Murphy, Jen Allison, Jody H, member upgrade to Oogla Boogla Free, Tosh with a cat eye, Mag, Michelle Capocchino. And I'm gonna have to take a look at those links she sent me. Seems like there's gotta be more information out there. And then CC with a member upgrade to Oogla Boogla Freaks. And DJ Bakalula upgraded, or not upgraded, but became a Megazoid, so thank you guys very much. Jessica Schubach, Mama 457 Rose, Billy Juliana, Linda Howell, as in Linda Molden Howe of the Cattle Mutilations and Crop Circles of Art Bell fame. Sarita, Helen Bucket Babe, Brown Eyed Girl 714, Jessica Schubach, Who Am I? With an actual eyeball there. Read a Book, Vanessa Dance, Tosh, Brown Eyed Girl 714, Wild Mountain Time, Maxine Van Dyke, S.O., Mag, Jamie, Little Bit, Christy Quasi, Snarky Cinderella. MM. Gummo, 2 months member. Trish Stuck in the Well. VI Fly. Timber Gecko, new member. Thank you. Welcome. Ozzy Trisha, 12 months. Mag. Ivan Victor. Holly Reagan. Susan Smith. Ozzy Trisha. Rhonda Mack. Ivan Victor. Melinda Moda Maiden. Garden Girl. Tammy Kerwood. Paul Hallett. Ivan Victor. Deer Feeder. Cindy Liam. Charleston Amy. Alley Cake. Ivan Victor again. Thanks, Ivan. Loretta Reyes. Gummo. Kevin Schultz, new member. Jamie. Dana Dane, 29 months. She's been around forever. Long time. Maybe some of the artwork that I have in the background. Kevin Schultz. Caroline, Illinois, new member. Ivan Victor again. Noreen Gardner. Heather B. Ivan Victor. Got Pam Cakes. Ivan Victor. Southwest 4x4 Explorer. Ivan Victor. Melinda DeMario. Sheppy Mom. Nikki Zibs. And, oh yeah, those showed up in there. So you guys showed up, and there you go. Thank you. Now let me ask you something, Nikki. What am I supposed to be saying at the end of that? I'm confused. There isn't any vowels in there. Nikki Zibs. So how is it pronounced in your mind?
Last minute.
We're almost at 101,000 freaks. I don't know. Might not be by the morning, but I'll try to put out a video or something. I was thinking of putting out that clip of Misty Gillis talking about how quickly we could put out the... Except I say like so many times, I'd have to edit out 9 of them. It's not, though. How about this? Hey, Nikki, try to put your name and have it phonetically spelled, and then at least I can try to say it right. Let me see. That's probably... Let's see. Zibchik? Or... Let's see. The B probably doesn't even make a sound. Let's see. It's probably like... Zib. I can't do it. You think it's Zubizik? Oh, that's what it is. Zubizik. So it is in there. Let me look at that again. All right, so Zubizik. I was almost right. Zubizik. That's probably how it is. Zubizik. I can't imagine it being Zubizik. It's got to be Zubizik. Like that, right? Is that correct? That's a hard one, man. Well, there was a guy in the NBA called Joe Prisbilla, and his name was spelled pretty weird. So, or Joel Prisbilla. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna put this in there. We'll spin for a everything mug. All right, that's going to be it. This year we're still going to give stuff out, but try to maybe get more into the funds for the donations. And I try to get everybody in here, but sometimes I'm not able to. Oh, and also thank you on the... Christine Reed on Venmo, and then also Charleston Amy, Sarah Terry, and Elizabeth Manjaswar. I get these names that I've never heard of in my life. It's kind of cool though that there's so many. Are you guys ready for whoever's going to win the everything mug tonight? If you win, please email Gray your postal details, meaning your address. Your postal details. Well, aren't you scared, Kevin, when criminals get out of prison that they're just going to be criminals again? Wouldn't it be great to get them out of there and a lot of them are just really good people? Hey, Mag, you know what's cool, Mag? It's good to see you here again, more often. You've been, you just had the flu, didn't you? Are you feeling much better, completely out of that now? Plus you laugh at all my jokes, so I like that. Zozo hasn't been here very much. What's going on, Zozo? Come on, Zozo. You gotta come back around again. All right, here it is for the everything mug. Oh yeah, your holiday. But what's that got to do with me? I'm not work. I'm a holiday. It's ridiculous. Read a book. I mean, you don't have time when it's not a holiday, so wouldn't a holiday be a good time to catch up on you? All right. Well, there you go. Read a book won that, so thank you very much. Oops, wrong one there. It needs to be a little bit smaller, about like that. There we go. What are you talking about, Mel's Diner? Shoving off in an ocean liner, someone can rock the microphone finer. East Coast, South Carolina, and Mel's Diner. How about you read a book? You sound like a really dumb person. Let's see. To what, Mia? What do you got? You know, it would have been cool if you had typed in what you wanted to know that time instead of wasting it on complaining about a mod. Yeah, because I'm done with the show. The show's over. That's why you can't call in, Maya. Do you ever think of that? Like, the show's over, therefore the phone lines aren't open anymore? Or are you on... You must be on rewind. I think Maya's on rewind at this point. Must be. Has to be.
Jay! Gosh, Maya, I'm sorry the mods didn't hear you, Jay!
Well, it would be read, because they can't hear somebody in the chat unless they call in. Apparently that's what she was trying to do, and the numbers didn't work. And the reason they didn't work is because the show's over and they're on rewind mode. Okay, so thank you very much for watching, everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow there'll probably be some footage of him in court, because that's when they're going to do the... But if there's anybody out there that has a direct line to the probable cause document, can you make sure that you send it to me? I'm trying on my own to get it, but if you get the probable cause document or have an inside line on that somehow, let me know. And if you do, if you could send it to me, that'd be great, because we're going to go over here in a way that makes sense to everybody. Okay? So thank you very much for watching tonight. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And as I always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there. And by the way, thank you guys very much for the support again. Very cool. Also, thanks for the mods, for all the wacky trolls that we get in here, and you getting rid of them. And thanks for everybody for watching, and even watching the cold case and the case about the body found inside of a donation bin. You know, I'm going to get a hold of the Cappuccino and see what I'm missing, and maybe we'll do an update on that, the cold case that we did. There's got to be more information in there. I just went and found all the articles that went in order, but there's got to be way more information that PI maybe put out somewhere in some location. All right, so we'll see you guys tomorrow, and until next time, be safe out there. And a 1, and a 2, and a 3, and a 4, and a 5, and a 6, and 8, and a 9,
A 10, and 11, and a 12, and a 13, and a 14, and a 15, and a 16, and a 17, and 18.
And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a
crime connector.
What'd you say? Crime what?
Certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher.
I don't know what it said.
Try and play me like an
Crime dissector, thug rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector.
Now you're way behind, Mary Lou. Just
a freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector, fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector.
On his spectre, with all respect, y'all.
Just remember, I've a temper fucking check ya. I have no agenda. I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without a blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender.
yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody?
All right, everybody. Thank you for being here tonight, okay?
Hey, Mary Lou, that's where I come in?
Okay, Greg. Have fun.
Oh, boy. All right, everybody. Hey, thanks for being here tonight. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.
Be safe out there. Good night, everybody.
Wow, that was very dramatic there, Mary Lou. I think that was... I don't even believe it. It sounded so ridiculous. Okay, why don't you try it again? I mean, do it the normal way that you do it, okay?
Good night, everybody. Jay.
Okay, that was better, but man, what happened the first time? It seemed like you were trying to oversell it to people. Okay, they're gonna not... It's like the boy who cried wolf syndrome for you. You know what I mean?
Oh, you think so, Greg? I'll work on that.
Well, they're listening. Now they know that you're going to be trying to fake that.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, well, I'm not going to do anything then. Goodbye, everybody.
All right. Yes, we'll see you tomorrow.